The search for Michael Vaughn continues. Michael went missing from his neighborhood in Fruitland in July of 2021. He was just 5 years old at the time. Law enforcement has spent the last year and a half investigating. But the Fruitland police chief says a credible tip led investigators to a home near Michael's neighborhood this weekend.
Crews are back out in Fruitland today searching for Michael Vaughn. Police believe his remains are in the backyard of a Fruitland home, and today is the 6th day crews are excavating the yard. Crews could be at the house on Red Wing Street for another week. This house is just 4 minutes from the Vaughn's home.
As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughn could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Stacey Wondra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wondras' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughn were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wondras' residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed.
Evidence suggests that there are the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Stacey Wondra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Stacey Wondra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. And Stacey Wondra, 30 years old, a male. Stacey was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacey has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacey Wondra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacey Wondra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction.
Hello, hello, everybody. What is going on? I have been a busy grandma. A busy grandma. I had an amazing weekend, but then I started not feeling good, and it's probably because I was around a bunch of kids during my grandson's birthday party. I hope everybody is doing well. Today's Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. It is the middle of the afternoon here in the Pacific Northwest. How are you all? I see Brandy Lee. I see Connie and Nada Drama Nana. Sarah Suspicious. Love saying your name. Eve Hickam. I think I said that right. Good to have you guys. The Missing with Manda. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you, mods, for being here. I know there was so many more. Kelly's here. Thank you, mods, for coming. I appreciate you. Jen R, Slim, AV, good to see you too, hun. Hair Curlers and Crime, one of the best names on the YouTube streets. I always have to say that. I just love that name. Zane, hello. Good to see you, hun. We've got Cousin here. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for... Hey, AB, what is up? Man, I've been missing all of your shows lately. I'm just telling you, I have been so busy working. I'm missing them all. And you do your show so damn early in the morning. Good to see you, AB. Yeah, so we're just going to go over the rest of... Yeah, we're analyzing Stacey's YouTube shit show. This is part 2 of that. Gonna watch a bunch of disgusting spitting and God knows what else he does, right? You do important things. I've seen them, AB. But where am I at? Okay, so the last live that we did, we learned a couple of things. We learned that Stacey Wondra said something about his Sierra, his red pickup truck, being repoed. Hi, Little Devil. Good to see you. Jules, thank you for coming in. Everybody's just pouring in. Blue Herring, thank you. And I was able to confirm that law enforcement went to there and picked up that truck. That's all the information I could find. I don't know if they found anything in it or not, but I was able to confirm that law enforcement did get a hold of that truck after it was repoed. So another thing that we found out that I thought was very interesting is that Stacey says that when he gets home, Sarah and Brandon are home. And when I did my interview with Brandon, I asked him if Stacey was home when he got home. He didn't really answer the question. He said, I think Stacey was on standby for taxi rides. The word standby really stood out to me. I'm not trying to throw Brandon under the bus at all, but standby can mean a lot of things. Standby. So it was just a strange word because I've been going back and like re-listening to the interview I did with Brandon. I just thought that was a really strange word to use because he also uses the word lookout when he talks about people being in the truck when they all pull over to the side of 8th in Arizona in the truck. So yeah, we were able to find a few things that some of us had never even heard before, probably because we didn't want to pay attention to Stacey while he was talking because we know everything he says is a lie anyway. But we were able to find a few things that some of us hadn't heard before, and if we had, just trying to verify, see if we can actually find out if some things are true, what's not, and put it together with some other things that Stacey has said, or maybe Brandon or Sarah, who knows. But that's what we're doing. We're going to finish up the one video tonight from Crime Lines and Lies. I'll throw her link down in chat sometime during this to give her some credit, because she did do a good job interviewing Stacey. Before we get into watching another one of, or finish watching this particular video, I do have a message from Brandy. She wrote to me this morning, and then after she wrote it, I asked her if this was something she was wanting me to share. She said yes, to share it. So it's just a little message from Brandy that I'm going to read. I did not take the time to turn this into a video or nothing. I'm just going to read what she says. We all know during the last live that, you know, I was asking for prayers for Brandy, and I still am. She does need lots of prayers right now. So please keep praying for Brandy. She went into the hospital last week. Her message today says, I am home, and I just got off the phone with the doctors. I'll be in Salt Lake meeting the team and all the tests they need in April. Yay. I did it. The magic list. She made the list, you guys, to get her liver. She goes on to say, we leave April 8th to Salt Lake. 2 days of testing. Social workers, dietitians, and counselors. Come home and then wait for my liver. Nothing else. Just try to stay stable as possible and not die like I almost did last week. I love you all very much. It's been an extremely hard journey, but definitely I'm in the arena for the prize, life. So right now I am doing all the appointments and traveling and stuff. All the things. This is going to be the year, everyone. We will bring Michael home. We will get justice. And I get a second chance. Let today be a blessed day filled with hope, strength, and happiness. I can't thank you all enough for your love and support. I am truly blessed. I will take today for a win. Let's go. Monkey's Army, we are fighting. Never giving up on Michael. I pinky promise, Monkey. Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shirtliff, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, let's go. Tell me where Michael is. You are not going to defeat this mama. Our family or Monkey's Army that stands with law enforcement. A message for Miss Bonnie Locke. If you guys don't know who she is, that is Brandon's grandmother. I hear that you are a wonderful Christian woman. I would like to have a conversation with you. Tell me about your family. I want to hear about Brandon growing up. I'd like to tell you about Michael's beautiful story. Michael has 3 siblings. Did you know that? I would like to tell you about my family. They are some very strong, loving people. Your grandson, Brandon Shirtliff, has my telephone number. I understand it may be difficult to talk to me, but I give you my word, I will be cordial and nice. Please consider speaking with me. I'm sure we will be meeting soon. Have a nice day. Hashtag Monkey's Army. Hashtag Michael's Bond. Hashtag Monkey Strong. Hashtag We Will Never Give Up. Hashtag Monkey's Army. Hashtag Never Give Up. Hashtag Michael Vaughn. Those are some very strong, powerful words from Brandy Neal Vaughn. She is bound and determined to find her son. We will find Michael. Brandon, Adrian, if you're listening, if you know anything, please come forward. I'm begging you. Please come forward. Brandy is getting a liver. This is great news. I was also told to tell Tina Mariel. That also goes for you. Reach out to Brandy, speak with her, talk with her. She'd like to speak to you also. Thank you guys for all of the love. Hello, Halo Art. Good to see you. So I have two moderators here, Halo Art and AV. They both do some amazing work on YouTube. Please look for them on YouTube. Halo Art has some art on here. AV also does some cards. It is Altenew cards, I believe. For AV, I always like just pointing that out a little bit. Thank you for being here, Amanda. Let's see. You can look on the Michael Vaughn Facebook groups and get flyers too if you do not hear from Brandy. Brandy is sick right now. I don't know that she's reaching out to really anybody. Yeah. Outing is not an option. We are Monkey's Army. We're never going to stop. We will keep fighting until Michael comes home. Chaos Queen, good to see you. Pretty Assessor, thanks for being here. This is Michael Joseph Vaughn. He came up missing on July 27th, 2021. If anybody has a tip, if anybody knows anything about Michael's abduction, or has heard anything from any of the four suspects, Sarah Wondra, Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shurtleff, or Adrian Lucian, please call the Fruitland Police Department's tip line at 208-642-6006, or you can also email findmichael@fruitland.org. We're never going to stop. And we really, really appreciate everybody that has called in a tip for Michael. But there are people out there that do know more. Could be the parents of one of these suspects, could be a friend of one of these suspects. It could be anybody out there. And you could think that your tip is small and it doesn't really mean a lot to you, but it could be what law enforcement needs to go with their case now, since the DA has said that they are pushing forward and going to bring charges to these four suspects. People keep asking me why it hasn't been done yet. Paperwork. So much paperwork has to be done. Then the charges can come out. Yes, Brandy did see the charges. Maybe there's just something in that paperwork that needs to be fixed. I don't know. We're not privileged to that information, but I can tell you they are working on it. Hold on one second, guys. I have to. Okay. Sorry. Got sidetracked. Anyway. No tip is too small, so please, please, please turn it in. As of January 10th, 2025, these four suspects are still suspects. Sarah and Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shurtleff, and Adrian Lucian. That was just updated. We know that law enforcement knows where these suspects are. So if you have a tip, please call it in 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Please pray for the Vaughn family. Pray for justice. Let's bring this family some peace through prayer, through our hopes. It is going to happen. I just feel it in my gut. Michael will come home. Please pray for Brandy as she is just struggling to stay healthy until she gets her liver. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. It took us so long to go through like barely an hour and a half. So I just wanted to get in everything real quick. You guys are amazing. If any of the moderators have a channel of their own on YouTube, please send your information to Kelly or text it in our group chat so that that can be shared for you guys' channel, for your cards, for your art and stuff. Kelly's willing to throw that up, or you guys can throw up your own link, whatever you guys want to do. We want to know where Michael is. Give Brandy a call or get an attorney. Talk to your attorney. Tell your attorney what you know. Make the deal and get her done. So I might read that again later on if you guys missed it. Brandy, Halo Art, we love you, Brandy. We are with you always. Thank you so much. Bring Michael Von Monkey home. His mom needs him home with her. Yes. I have the best chat ever. Thank you guys for the prayers. It was a very rough week last week for Brandy, but she pulled out of it. She pulled through. And she's back home, thank goodness. All right. So, as hard as it is and as disgusting as it is, we're going to start talking about Stacey, and we're going to listen to him and everything he's got to say in this interview with Crime Lines and Lies. Let me just put up her link. Okay. So there is the link. Don't forget to click that thumbs up coming in or going out. It helps the algorithm. It helps bring more awareness to Michael. And if you want to become a member, you can click that join as well. So let me just share my screen here and we'll get right at it. I will be watching everything from my phone. Please join me in chat. Help me do this analyzing. Quite a few people that came in last time. There were several things I was able to write down and look into, verify. Hey, Kelsey, nice to see you. And yeah, I mean, I think going through all of this is really important. I really do. I mean, not just because we're finding the contradictions, because we already know that Stacey lies, but we may also see a slip in something that Stacey says, which I'm actually looking more for that than just contradictions. But I thought it was very interesting to hear Stacey say that his truck got repoed. And yeah, being able to verify that that truck was, you know, looked at was great information to have. Oh, thank you, Blue Hearing. I am feeling a little bit better. I had like the worst headache yesterday and the day before. I don't know what the headache's about. I don't have my cardiologist appointments and stuff till the end of the month, but I am, I was referred to see a cardiologist. I'm still having some heart palpitations and stuff. They said it could be diabetic related. That's what I thought. But even with my blood sugars under control, I'm still having heart palpitation and heart pain, chest pain, I mean, and yeah, just a little bit of pressure, but I am definitely taking care of myself, taking care of my diabetes and everything. Yeah, so thank you so much for asking. I'm doing good. I'm feeling way better than I was a couple weeks ago when I started going into the hospital. So I appreciate you asking. So yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to this. If you guys hear any slip ups, let me know. Let's just see. What's this? All right. Let me make sure everybody can see this over here. Yep, everybody can see it. That's great. All right. So we were at 57 minutes and 57 seconds and 2 hours and 31-minute video. So we've already done close to an hour. So there's about an hour and a half. We stopped so much. I think that was like a 2.5 hour live last time. So I'm expecting this to be at least 2.5 hours, depending on how much we have to stop. We will stop. We will talk. I will be watching chat because I want to share with everyone what everybody else is saying. Yeah. Moderators, if you see any trolls, kick them out. I don't think we'll have any problem. We didn't last time. I'm just saying. I've had lots of trolls in my comment section after my lives. So, yep. Let's get going and hearing this. What else does Stacey Wondra have to say?
Give me a second. Sarah said on October 7th that you were out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Was that on the way there or on the way back?
On the way there.
Okay. I assumed you all were on your way back. I apologize.
No, that was on the way there.
Okay, so you were in Melrose, New Mexico.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, and she said that you checked yourself out. You had no discharge papers and that you signed against medical advice.
I don't remember exactly. Probably just because I think they were trying to like, I don't remember exactly what the reasoning was. I literally went in there to get checked to see what was going on because I was having a very hard time breathing. As you know.
Hey, Carla Barnes, thank you for coming in. So what's going on right here is Brooks is talking to Stacey about their trip to Texas that they took shortly after Michael disappeared. I want to say it was like August, September, October. I want to say it was like 2 to 3 months. Callie, do you remember, was it September or October that they went to Texas? I'm having a brain fog right now. But they took a trip down to Texas, and when they get down there, Stacey's had started swelling, from like sitting, like water weight gain, retention, in his legs and everything else, and he ends up in the hospital. He leaves the hospital, according to Sarah, signing out because they didn't have money to pay for any of the medicine or prescriptions that they were going to give him, even though they wanted to keep him in the hospital. Stacey signed paperwork to like leave the hospital and everything else. This is their trip. Yes, October. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you for confirming, Kelly. So this trip is in October. And they go on this trip. During this trip, right around the same time this trip is happening, Brandon's grandfather has also passed away. Everybody talks about that too, because there were some people wondering whether or not Brandon could have moved Michael during this time that they were gone. from the Wandra's backyard to somewhere else. Yeah, so he ends up in the hospital down in New Mexico. They talked about breaking down off side of the road, not on the freeway, because they're going down the freeway. And what had actually happened, I did look into this. So they're going down the freeway in Texas, and there's a detour that they have to take because there's a huge bad like car accident. I believe people even passed away during that car accident. Their detour took them down some crazy muddy road of some kind, you know, just out in the middle of nowhere. Freaked Sarah out. Something had happened with the car. They ended up getting help and getting out of there, but there was a lot of speculation about whether or not even the Wandras taking Michael down somewhere into Texas or something and moving him at that time. You know, we don't know because we don't know where Michael is, right? But that's what's going on. That's what they're talking about here.
No, I was a very big guy, a lot bigger than what I am now. And so I think a lot of it had to do with the temperature change, the climate, the air. It was just than what I was used to. So that was why I'd gone to the hospital, because I was having a very hard time breathing.
So explain the trip, why you went all the way down there.
Okay, so Sarah and I had been doing a little bit of so there's a gal in Boise. I think she still lives there. Her name is Amy Church. There's a gal that Sarah and I connected with. She had posted an ad initially on Craigslist years ago, back in 2021, I think, or I don't remember, but she had posted an ad on Craigslist saying that she's looking for somebody to deliver a puppy to Grants Pass, Oregon.
Where's
So
that?
Grants Pass, Oregon.
How far is that from Fruitland?
I mean, it's clear on the other side of like the other side of Portland. So probably.
You know, I'm going to have to go back and listen to the interview that I did with Stacey, that Brandy actually did with Stacey on panel. I'm wondering if he said Grants Pass, Oregon also when he talked about a puppy, because I know there was 2 different times they did this puppy thing. One was in Oregon, one down in Texas. But here he's saying Grants Pass, so I'm just going to take note, Grants Pass, because now I'm curious to know if that's actually what he said during that interview with Brandy. I thought he said somewhere else.
8 hours, 9 hours. If I had to guess, I haven't looked it up. I don't have a way to look it up on the map, but right now, because I'm on the video, but pretty sure it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive. So we had agreed to do it because she was willing to pay us like $500 or $600. We also took the truck that night to Grants Pass, Oregon, because we also found a guy on Craigslist that needed his full behind camper towed to Walla Walla. Walla Walla was on the way to Grants Pass, Oregon. So Sarah, Brandon, and me, and this guy and the dog, and then this guy we picked up for the camper, that had the camper, all drove to Grants Pass, Oregon. Well,
and this guy with the camper, I remember him saying on the interview that I did with him, was that that guy lived in Vancouver, Washington, and that's where I'm at. Yeah, I think he did say that the puppy was from Boise, but I want to know where he was talking about. Where did he say he dropped it off, Slim? Did he say Grants Pass, or was that somewhere else in Oregon?
drove to Walla Walla, dropped him off in his camper, and then we continued the drive to Grants Pass, Oregon. dropped off the black lab puppy, and then headed back home. That was for that. So basically what I'm trying to tell you all is we did a lot of we try to do what we could to serve our community. The trip, as far as the trip to Texas goes, so we initially gone to Texas because we were offered, it was like 12 or $1,400. She tried to give us a quote of $1,000. We were like, no, we're not going to do it for 1,000. Like, we need to.
What just doesn't make sense to me, okay? Like, bear with me for a second, because that just doesn't make sense. I have to look real quick on my phone, and then I'll talk about it. Okay, let me keep going, because I got to look this up. Go.
To account for this trip, the gas it's going to take, the food, the hotel stay, and then the trip back. So we counter offered and offered like 12 or $1,400, and she was like, okay, that's fine. So she gave us $900, I believe, up front, and was going to pay us the remainder once we picked up the dog, which she did. On the way to Texas, I don't remember. It was started with an L. It was a small city in Texas. We ended up encountering, it was on a 2-lane highway. We encountered a detour sign. I know a lot of you have questions about the muddy road and why we took the muddy road. So to answer your guys' question is we ended up taking the detour. Yep, there you go. Took the detour. The detour literally was off the main highway, or the main 2-lane highway. We took the detour because there's a fatality. Took the detour, and then like a quarter mile down the detour road, there was another detour sign that pointed to the right. We took that road, which was that road that that photo was just showed up on. We ended up there was like 2 vehicles in front of us, the trucks that ended up making it through all the way. So it wasn't just us that was on that road, but we tried to go through it thinking we'd make it, and we got stuck. We didn't know what to do. I mean, there was no way I was going to be able to push us out of there because, I mean, my size, and secondly, just how deep the car was stuck.
No, go ahead with, we'll get to that question next.
Okay. So I called the tow truck company. The first one I called, they were trying to quote us like $250 to bring a tow truck out to our location and pull us out. And I was like, well, that's not going to work because we need all the money we can get to get back. So, you know, to get to the rest of our destination, to go pick up the dog and then go back. So after making a couple more calls, I was able to get a hold of a guy who personally owned a tow truck company, but he was willing to come and help. I just explained to him, I was like, you know, we're struggling, we're stuck, you know, we're down here to rescue a dog or pick up a dog for a lady in Boise. They detoured us, they got us stuck, or you know, they got us stuck in this road, muddy hole or whatever, muddy pit, and we don't really have a way to get out. And he's like, okay, just hang tight, I'll come and get you out of there. So out of the kindness, this guy drove over in his Toyota 4Runner, pulled up in front of us, connected a tow strap and pulled us out. At that point, we then continued on with our trip. And we carried on to go get the dog. I think it was the next day that we ended up getting the dog. And then stayed at the hotel overnight and then drove back.
Well, now Sarah made several TikToks from the hotels, but we couldn't hear a dog. Did the dog was the dog sleeping?
Yeah, the dog literally, she was older, so she slept a lot. Um, like
Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. So, yes, please take that link. I've been sharing it on the Michael Vaughn Facebook group. The link for shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, zip up hoodies, and pullovers. Hoodies, coffee mugs, you name it, hats. They have it on that link. So, okay, we have to go over something else real quick because it doesn't make sense. He says that they came in. Hello, Tara. Thank you for coming. He says that he comes over to Vancouver to pick up a guy on our show. A guy he had a trailer. They picked the guy up with the trailer, took him to Walla Walla. Okay. So look at this. This doesn't make sense. Like, wow. Share my screen. This does not make sense. Is it the first one? Let's see. Okay, not this one. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. So this is Walla Walla right here in the center. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Walla Walla, Washington. Okay. Is right here. Here's the thing, you guys. So it's right here. Can you guys see this right in the center? Here, connect to this 12 next tier to College Pace in the center, okay? Now, if they went to Vancouver, Washington, they would have came in traveling I-84. This goes into the Portland, Vancouver area, okay? So it's right next to Pendleton. Or not right next to Pendleton. 84 travels along to Pendleton, but north of Pendleton is where Walla Walla is. Way up here. Okay? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen again. And that's in Washington. They would travel down I-84 to get to Vancouver to get the trailer. I-84 travels through Oregon. And at the end of it, you get into Portland, Oregon. You have to take the 205 bridge into Vancouver, Washington. That's how they would have came in. And then they have to go to Walla Walla, he says. And then after Walla Walla, they drive to Grants Pass, Oregon, which is crazy because give me just a second. Grants Pass, Oregon. Oh, that's the wrong one. Dang it. Sorry. Grants Pass, Oregon is right here along the border of California. So you mean to tell me, so this is Grants Pass here, right in the center. Okay. But once you zoom out a little bit, you see the dotted line right here at the bottom of the screen. That dotted line is the border to California. So you're telling me, sorry, they traveled all. What the heck did I just do? Sorry, you guys, I'm not used to using my maps. You mean to tell me they traveled all the way down to the California border to drop off a puppy and then went back to Idaho? That's a lot of damn driving. You leave Idaho, you take I-84, you go into Portland area, cross the 205 bridge, go into Vancouver, Washington. You're going to drive all the way up northeast to Walla Walla. Then you're going to travel all the way down south, almost to the California border, to go to Grants Pass, and then you're going to turn around and go all the way back north, get back on I-84 and go back into Idaho. I'm going to have to look into this some more because something stinks. Dog trafficking, laugh out loud, rogue. Come on. Oh, goodness. Sorry, not funny. Pretty proud of that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, when was this again? So, well, they're talking about this trip, but I didn't even catch when the trip was to Walla Walla because he was talking about his trip going down to Texas. So, when did they? Yeah, Callie, me neither. Something's fishy here. I cannot see anyone driving multiple states and paying that much money for a black lab puppy. They're not getting paid very much money to do this at all, and yet they're traveling. This does not make sense. This is when I wish I was in law enforcement and I was privileged to certain information and I could grab their phones and like look at their GPS to know exactly where they were and what they were doing, because this is the kind of stuff that aggravates me when I can't figure something out and I'm just, something's fishy here. Something just stinks. Was Randy Strickland an Indiana RV delivery dude, or was Ed Labette? I do not know, Slim. It's just so much driving and it makes no sense. You want to know what does make sense? Because my dad used to truck driver, okay? And I have driven all over the country myself. So if I were Sarah and Stacey and I say I had this puppy, okay? I'm going to come down I-84. I'm going to go down to Grants Pass. Then I'm going to do the trailer and go up to Walla Walla. Then pass the border up over into Idaho and then just travel south to get back to Fruitland. They are going a lot of opposite directions here. And something does not sound good here. Something's up. I don't like it. So I have this written down. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to make a map the way I would normally make a map so that we can really look at that, because this is crazy. Let's go back to the interview, see what else he has to say. Yeah, something is rotten here. And I'm also going to go back and see what he told Brittany about, or Brittany, I don't even know where I got Brittany. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go back over and listen to Brandy and see what Stacey says in that interview too about this trip. Because I don't remember him talking about all this traveling, or I would have heard it. Okay. Anyway, back to it. Sorry, you guys. I had to know. And I just wanted to share it with you guys while I was looking at the map. Because once I looked it up, I'm like, that does not make sense. I live here in Washington, and I thought Walla Walla was down more towards Pendleton. But even still, it just doesn't make sense. All right. We are back to Stacey Wondra.
That dog was ridiculously crazy, like silent. There was like never even yelped, never whined. That dog was the best dog I've ever seen in my life. And that's just like me being brutally honest.
And by the way, did anybody hear when he talked about going to Walla Walla and Grants Pass? If you did, could you put it in chat so that I can also write that down? Because I didn't catch that.
I've never seen anything like it. The dog didn't whine, didn't like make a peep, doesn't even bark at all. Even when she had to use the bathroom, I mean, she would, we knew she had to use the bathroom because she would stand up. But she never even whined to go outside or anything.
Speaking of Oakley, who has Oakley now?
Oakley was Sarah.
Hair Curlers and Crime says, what city was Adrian, California? Was it close to the border where they were by? No, but Adrian left August 20th of 2021. Not sure when this trip with the dog was to Walla Walla, the trailer, and all this Grants Pass stuff is. But very good point. Very, very good point. Because they're literally down there by the California border.
When I went to jail, when Sarah got out on pretrial, Sarah gave Oakley to a guy named Victor, who was also a guy that we had taken to Portland, Oregon, at one point in time back in 2020, I believe. He had posted an ad on Craigslist looking for a ride to Portland to go start a fresh life. So we responded to it. As you guys probably are aware, we did a lot of Craigslist gigs. So you're probably going to know a lot about, that's where most of these come from, is Craigslist. So we took Victor to Portland, and then he ended up, we stayed in contact with him throughout the next couple of years, and then he came back to Idaho and did some taxi rides for us. And then when I got arrested and Sarah got released on pretrial, Sarah gave Victor Oakley. Well, Victor, being irresponsible, got drunk one night, and Victor was living out of his vehicle with Oakley, working at Walmart, working graveyard shift, and Victor had drank like 240s. I don't know what they were. I don't really care. Drank two beers that night, the 40-ounce beers.
I've heard this name Victor before. Does anybody know who he is? Just curious. I know I've heard the name Victor, and I know there was someone who came in from Nevada, like, I want to say Las Vegas. Maybe he said it and I missed it. I'm not sure.
I think it was Steel Reserve or some shit, and then got pretty much drunk. Had let Oakley out to use the bathroom in the Walmart parking lot area, and then passed out drunk. Oakley was then picked up by a random couple, I guess, or people, and was brought to the local humane society as a stray. Victor inquired, I guess, because this is what Victor told me a week or two ago, that he inquired to get Oakley back, but they were going to charge $300, and they wanted a signed form saying that Oakley was given to him by Sarah. Right? Oh my God. So that's where the situation with Oakley.
Okay, what did you think about Brandon's interview with JLR?
Oh, as far as the question goes?
Yeah, when he was in the hot tub.
Sorry, my PO texted me. Um, he's very off on his information. You know, like, you know, there's always two sides to every story. Unfortunately, in this story, there's multiple, uh, you know, everybody has their own, uh, you know, story. I know for a fact that what I'm telling you is the absolute 100% truth. I don't have a reason to bullshit anybody. I don't have a reason to lie to anybody. I'm on here specifically to clear my name with you guys because I know there's a lot of questions.
Well, and we're getting through them. I mean, one thing
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect when I talked to you because, you know, Brandon kept saying, you know, you.
So Slim, okay, I believe Victor's daughter and friend Wondra doorbell camera, they had watched her. So is Victor his tattoo artist? Because wasn't it his tattoo artist that had a daughter that they watched? And what here, like, he just presumes that everybody else is going to have a different story. Why does he say that? Because he's lying about his own story and everybody else's story is going to be different than his? Okay, Slim, thank you. So yeah, maybe Victor is the okay, that makes sense. I know the only reason I even mentioned the guy from Nevada is because Stacey constantly moans and groans and bitches about a guy that would come to their house and drink a lot, and he was from Nevada. So I was wondering if that's who Victor was, because he was just sitting here talking about him getting drunk and stuff. Okay, so that makes sense. Is that the little girl who runs up and says, "Hi, Stacy," on the doorbell cam, Slim? Halo Art is asking. Right? Hair curlers and crime, like you can't believe anything he says.
You have such a slow IQ, and that, I mean, you're basically, you can't even form a sentence, really.
He's retarded. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Don't be trying to offend anybody.
Because, I mean, you have a great memory.
I do my best. I mean, yes, I struggle with mental diagnoses. I was born with them, but I've also been in group homes a lot of my life to better myself, to be a better part and functional member in society. So I've overcome a lot of those um, troubles. You know, so that's why I am the way I am today. You know, but as far as his videos, like there's something off with Brandon. A lot of things are off with him. He's not consistent with his information. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he's deceitful as well. You know,
Sorry about the horrible language, you guys, but we're dealing with Stacy here, so you guys are going to hear it. Just letting you guys know.
in my book, he's a piece of shit. One of the biggest pieces of shits I've ever fucking met in my life.
Well, when did you start thinking that there was something not right with him?
I mean, I always knew he was off, but I didn't know he was that off. You know,
So that's a little bit of something. I always knew he was off, but I didn't know he was that off. What is he trying to say here? That off meaning what? What would make him say that about Brandon? The interview, or is it something he's thinking in his head?
yeah, I really didn't realize, like, I didn't think of him really the way I do now until after I got out of jail and started watching his fucking videos and, you know, listening to his bullshit fucking non making sense stories.
Hey, Ink. Good to see you.
Okay, what time do you remember being on Arizona and 8th Street when you were putting power steering fluid And I'm not a mechanic, as you know. We talked today about my truck.
I would say probably early 6 o'clock hour.
Okay, so in my notes here, I have Stacy says that at 5:30, 5:45 is when the sun was setting, which we know that's not true because the sun didn't even go down to like 9:20 that night. And it was around then that they left to go to Kuna. And now he's saying early 6 o'clock. So he's now and this is the same interview, guys. She had him talking earlier. He gave a time. Then she waits a little while and asks him the same question, which I think is a great job. Good job, Brooks. But asks him the same question. And now it's closer to 6, early 6 o'clock hour.
Early 6 o'clock hour, like between 6 and 6:15, easy.
Okay, we have a question.
Even says 6:15. So it's gone from 5:30 to 6:15. You guys got your pen and paper out? You guys taking notes? If you guys want to send me any information, you guys can always email me. I already pinned it. I'll pin it up again. Let me know if you guys see anything.
And it's your opinion only, or whatever you want to tell us. Do you think Brandon and Sarah, well, this person said, did it?
I have no response to give. Again, I will not answer a question I do not know the truth to. I'm a very upfront and honest person. I will
Honest person. That's so laughable. Hello, baby kisses. Thank you for coming in.
tell people what I do know. I will answer questions that I can to my best of my abilities, but I'm not going to answer that because I'm not the person that's gonna answer invalid information and then have it be wrong.
But yet in another interview that he does with a reporter in Fruitland, one of the last times he was out, right after he got out, actually, before he was rearrested and put back in, did an interview with a reporter when he's sitting on the bench outside the homeless shelter and talks about maybe Brandon and Sarah had something to do with it. But here he's saying they didn't. He's not going to speak on it.
So you're saying like around 6 o'clock you were putting the power steering fluid in there. Now you're talking about Victor from Portland. Do you happen to know his last name or what he looks like?
Caratini. He's Hispanic. I know what he looks like. I mean, I even have his phone number. I talked to him. I have it on Messenger. His full name is Hector Luis Caratini. He's on Messenger. Anybody can find him. Who's calling me from California? Jesus.
Hector
I don't got time for that.
Luis. Let's see, Victor Garatina.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, with your taxi service or, however you travel, because I'm not from that area, did you go to Portland a lot?
No. Sarah had family that lived in Portland, or friends that lived in Portland. That's where she grew up. So we took a Portland trip every now and then, but it was not frequent by any means.
Well, I mean, explain frequent. Because what I call frequent could be like once a month, and some people could call frequent once a day. I don't know.
Oh, no. Like, I mean frequent, like maybe once every 4 or 5 months. Like, there was not, whenever we could afford it and plan it is
Every 4 or 5 months. And then clears his throat. So there's a lie there. He must have been traveling to Portland more often, maybe. I don't know. He just seems to clear his throat a lot when he gets uncomfortable with a question or his line.
when we did it, and that was not very often. Like, we probably took a trip to.
Wasn't Hector Stacey's lube shop landlord? There is an interview where he mentions his name, and I believe you're right, Slim. I do believe that the lube owner was Hector. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you.
To Portland maybe once in a blue moon.
So explain Victor again, and we have his last name. I don't want to give out, he's probably, like you said, he's in some homeless camp or something. So obviously we're not going to, dox him and give out an address. So how, with Sarah's infrequent trips, did she feel so comfortable with Victor that she would give him your dog?
Yeah. Victor was a good dude. I would have been okay with that too. Knowing the circumstances, Oakley needed consistency. I trained and raised Oakley. She was not brand new to us. She was not a pup when we got her. She was like a year and a half old, but I trained that dog everything. Her energy level was, that dog was in love with me. I hate to say it, but I love that dog more than I love Sarah.
I saw the pictures. You loved that dog.
That dog was my life. I would die for Oakley. I would die for her. I would literally, if somebody were to shoot her, I would jump in front of that bullet.
Yeah. There's your puppy dog.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look how happy she is. You can see she's even smiling. Look at that. Like,
Yeah,
how do you find the dog?
Yeah, she's smiling. Now, did Adrian ever go to Portland with you?
No. Nope. Never.
Okay.
I miss that dog so much.
That girl said if he wants to, he can explain his childhood in group home.
So my childhood was relatively rough. I was born with fetal alcohol syndrome, which is, I don't know if any of y'all know, but fetal alcohol syndrome is just it affects your frontal lobe of your brain, specifically on the right side. Fetal alcohol syndrome affects your cognitivity, the way your impulse control, your impulse decisions. I was angry as I didn't start going to group homes until I was 11. I started developing symptoms when I was like 9 or 10, but we couldn't figure it.
Brooks, what happened to the puppy? Oh, Hot Mess says that the dog died.
Out until after we had me tested by a neuropsychological doctor. I grew up in Montana, just so you guys all know. I'm sure you guys probably know that. But for those of you who don't know,
is there a lot of snow there? And
oh my god, oh my god, yeah, they just got dumped on with snow. Guess what my buddy said? Like, he just said they got hammered with snow. Just yesterday and the day before. So yeah, and it gets cold. It gets like negative 29 or negative 35 degrees. It's cold. Cold.
Now, what is the elevation like? Because I don't know about the mountain range it goes through.
There's I don't know about the elevation, but exactly. I know they're connected. Montana, both the area I lived in was
I feel the same way, Ray. True Colors. He knows right from wrong. So whether or not he has fetal alcohol syndrome, his explosive disorder, he knows right from wrong, period. And that's all that matters. Yeah, didn't stop him from ripping people off. Didn't stop him from having GUNs when he wasn't supposed to. Didn't stop him from committing robberies, doing drugs, selling drugs.
We were connected to the mountains pretty much. We lived like you could drive 30 minutes and hit the mountains.
Now, how were age?
This interview was done about a year ago, or a little over a year ago, Elizabeth. We're just going over some old interviews that Stacey has done. We're trying to catch slips. We're trying to find contradictions, just going back, re-listening to things that Stacey has said before, because now that that new confession footage has been put out, now that he had came forward up on my panel and said some more about what he did that day, yeah, we're just going over, seeing if we can catch anything new.
Adrian and Brandon paying for their rooms, and who did they pay?
What do you mean?
I mean, did they pay Sarah's parents? Did they pay Sarah?
No. So Brandon told us he was going to pay us, but he never did. We ended up forking out more money for him than he forked out for us. Any money that Brandon would get, he would go blow it on weed or alcohol. Holy fuck. Oh my God.
What's wrong?
Sorry. No, my phone's blowing up. Girlfriend keeps calling 100 times.
Well, good for you, hot stuff.
Do what I can. No. But
Times said he looks so healthy, not so unhappy anymore.
Thank you, DC. Appreciate you. I'm trying. So yeah, Brandon would blow any money that I got on literally weed or alcohol. He always came to us asking for money for gas in his car, or wanted money for to want us to pay for his phone bill or his court fines. But he never paid for his stuff. I mean, he was reliant on us, very much so.
Okay, this is going to be a tough question, and you don't have.
Yeah, Marissa lived in Christmas Valley. That was one of his little girlfriends.
Have to answer it. How you said that it was going to be a couple of days with Brandon and Sarah sleeping together to get her pregnant, which would be like an ovulation cycle, but you said it went on for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how did you break it up? How did you tell them, to quit being with each other?
I just told Sarah that she needed to stop or I was going to leave. So she stopped, but I guess did it behind my back when I wasn't aware of it. So
And how did you meet Adrian?
I already went over this. I told you guys I met him from Sarah bringing him home from the taxi ride.
Oh, sorry. I was just reading something from the chat.
No, it's okay.
I apologize. The chat's moving fast.
Oh, it's okay. I wish I could see the chat too. Like I want to see what people are, I want to answer them as they come,
Okay.
I don't know if there's probably no.
Russell says, Brooks, you're doing great with this interview. I'm a nervous wreck and I'm just a chatter.
I do have to say that I do believe that Brooks did an amazing job with her interviews with Stacey. 1000%.
ICU said, so Brandon was there to get Sarah pregnant and Stacey okayed it. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying earlier, it was literally I okayed it for a short time because I was infertile. Sarah wanted a kid. I suggested and advised Sarah that we shouldn't be trying to have a kid because of our financial situation. So in short, I okayed it because I wanted her to be happy.
Okay, I'm waiting for the next question. Does Sarah know you have a new girlfriend?
No. Is that the next question? Yeah. Yeah, no. Nope. And I really don't care to tell her. I mean, it's whatever. Like, if she wants to be a hoe, then I'm gonna let her be a hoe and I'm gonna do my thing. Like, I'm gonna fucking take care of myself. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna make myself be happy. There's no reason I should have to deal with being unhappy. And I'm very unhappy with our marriage.
Well, when did you realize that you were infertile? Did you get tested?
Mm-hmm.
When did you guys stop trying to have a baby?
I mean, we
And
never stopped trying to we stopped really having sex after I found out that she got herpes. So,
is that what's between your fingers?
her fingers? No. So Sarah, she does have a big case of nervousness. So she would take a pen and she would dig at her. She would dig with a pen between her fingers.
When did that start?
Years ago. She's been doing it, I mean, since I've been married to her.
Because it looks very sore. How did she get herpes? What did she take for it? Do you know?
She hasn't gotten cured for it. That's why her and I haven't had intimacy since she got diagnosed with it. I told her I wasn't doing that. As far as her knuckles and shit go, she's been doing that for years.
So an ink pen she would dig between her knuckles?
Correct. That's what that is.
Okay. Because I was wondering about that because there's other ones where she just has the same ring and it's just between the ring finger and the middle finger.
Mm-hmm. No.
Now, who stayed at your house after you and Sarah were arrested?
Randy Strickland was there. He was the guy, another taxi customer.
Randy Strickland? Okay. I've heard his name quite a few times.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, do you know why Sarah...
Do I know?
Oh, can you hear me? Do we have a bad connection?
No, I know. I got you. I was just trying to process what you were saying.
Well, I've heard Randy Strickland's name several times, and I wasn't quite sure how he fit in. But I mean, again, you've been telling the truth, and you're very forthcoming.
Yep.
Did he mention when around the time was that Randy was staying there with them? When he mentions Randy Strickland, I didn't hear him really say anything about the time. Yeah, I'm almost half tempted to rewind right here. Hold on a second.
Now, who stayed at your house after you and Sarah were arrested?
Okay, so it was after Sarah and Stacey was arrested. Sarah and Stacey. Okay. Answered my own question. Thanks, Slim.
Randy Strickland was there. He was the guy, another taxi customer.
Randy Strickland? Okay. I've heard his name quite a few times.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, do you know why Sarah...
Do I know?
Oh, can you hear me? Do we have a bad connection?
No, I know. I got you. I was just trying to process what you were saying.
Well,
Do
I've
I
heard
know?
Randy Strickland's name several times, and I wasn't quite sure how he fit in. But I mean, again, you've
So Brooks is saying that Randy was already there. He didn't move in after. Thank you.
been telling the truth, and you're very forthcoming.
Yep. Randy was just another taxi customer. He called us because he got in a car accident and rolled his truck with. He used to haul RVs and or campers from like Gresham, Indiana or whatever. I don't remember where it was, but you know where the major synergy place is. The RV capital of the world. You know, he would haul trailers for them. And he ended up consuming alcohol or having a couple beers and then got in a car accident and rolled his truck and rolled the customer's camper. So he called us for a ride and we went and picked him up in Vail, I believe it was, Vail, Oregon, and brought him back, and he stayed a couple nights at our house. And then a couple days later, we rented a little U-Haul trailer because that's when we had the Escalade.
Sorry, we're not going to talk about Eve in chat. Eve has done nothing but spread misinformation in Michael's case. Eve hasn't done anything but attack the parents of Michael Vaughn. Yeah, since she started her own shit show. So no, we're not talking about Eve in chat, please. Thank you.
A white Escalade that you guys see pictures of. And we rented a U-Haul little utility trailer and had to go pick up some of his stuff out of his truck, like his toolbox and his belongings, from the impound lot where the truck went, the wrecking yard.
Where was that at?
In Burns, Oregon.
In Burns, Oregon? Okay.
Burns, Oregon, yeah.
No worries, hot mess.
I just appreciate you being so honest.
Not a problem.
Honest, Michael.
Pat K has a question. She wants to know if you're cooperating with law enforcement.
I've cooperated him in every which way that I could. I've told him everything that I'm telling you guys. So yes.
Well, I know today you said they really won't talk to you anymore. Maybe it's because they're done with you.
I guess I don't know. They haven't approached me or tried to ask me questions since my interviews with them. So I don't really have anything else to offer them. I don't know anything other than what I've told them and told you guys. So.
When Brandon said that they had to go get some milk at the convenience store, did you see anybody coming back with milk?
No. No.
JLR said, I think Stacey is telling the truth. JLR, do you want to come up? And yes, he'll be very nice and very,
No,
very.
I know. I've watched some of his videos. I like him.
All right, so you're cooperating with law enforcement.
Mhm.
Stormy said, Brandon and Sarah failed the polygraphs. Can Stacey think of anywhere they could have put Monkey that law enforcement hasn't looked?
Hot mess, you're good, hun. That wasn't directed towards you. I just want everybody to know, like, I'm not talking about Eve in chat. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. Eve has done some horrible, horrible things in Michael's case. It's not the Eve that's in this chat. It's a different Eve. Just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, we're just not going to talk about Eve in chat, please. She is not the greatest creator on this, subject of Michael Vaughn. She's been horrible to the parents. She accuses them of doing, for everything that's happened. She's even attacked Brandy since her illness. It's disgusting. I don't like her, so I'm also very protective of Brandy. So if I sounded harsh when I said that, I'm sorry, hot mess. I don't want to talk about Eve, especially in the chat. I don't want other people to start talking about her. And I am not trying to give her any clout.
Looked.
Not at all. I know absolutely nothing regarding Michael Vaughn. If, like I was telling Brooks this morning, if I knew anything about the disappearance, I had any suspicion about it, I had any relative knowledge, I would have been the first person to go say something to law enforcement. I wouldn't have held back. I'm not okay with him disappearing at all.
Well, and stupid question. Why didn't you and Sarah just adopt a child?
We can't. You can't adopt a child if you're a felon.
Oh, okay. Now, are you aware that Sarah had Michael's poster on your refrigerator?
Yeah. Yeah, we posted that there together. That was specifically because to show support. Just like I told you,
When you're involved in a missing child's abduction, when you're one of the suspects, when there's evidence to prove that these 4 people have some kind of knowledge, how do you sit there and put Michael's flyer on your refrigerator, walk by it day after day after day, knowing what you did to that child? Their heartless behavior is mind-blowing. The way they disconnect themselves and act like they did nothing wrong.
posting the his profile picture on my Facebook. That was literally to show support, just like people were doing the blue lights. That was all to show support. It was just in support in favor of Michael.
Well, is there anything that you've told the police that isn't quite true?
Not at all.
You haven't lied to the police at all just because you were nervous or scared?
Not one bit. I gave the police and the detectives everything that I could. What I'm telling you guys is what I told the detectives.
Have they made you give any kind of, statement or confession?
No.
Or tried to?
Yeah. But I don't know anything. I given them everything that I could. And I think they see that now, which is why they're not questioning me.
Did they interrogate you?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you said you passed the polygraph and they told you that Sarah and Brandon failed theirs. When did they tell you that?
I found out the same day. Because they tried calling my mom and asking her if she thought I would have anything to do with it. She was like, absolutely not. And they told my mom that, Stacey took a polygraph test and he passed, and Sarah and Brandon failed theirs. So um that was relayed by the detective to my mom. My mom told me.
Oh, wow. She must be.
She's hurt. She's devastated that I'm even having to go through all this. But
Have you ever? Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, you go. No, you're the guest.
I will tell people this though, that should they ever attempt to
So Brooks is saying that these are lies that she spoke to Stacy's mom. Do you know, did he ever take a lie detector test? Did she ever say law enforcement got a hold of her or anything about those lie detector tests, Brooke? He really does. He coughs. When he lies, he coughs when he gets uncomfortable. I also, during these interviews, wondered at one time if he was actually sick, because I know he says something about not feeling good along the line of some of these interviews and stuff. But yeah, he does. He coughs whenever he's uncomfortable or lying or is about to lie. Yeah, every time he opens his mouth, he lies, Connie says.
charge me for this? They're in over their heads, and they're looking at a very, very, very hefty lawsuit. I just want to let people know that.
We're not scared of your lawsuit, Stacey. I still have yet to be served with papers. I don't think any of the other creators have gotten served either. I think he does those lawsuits for attention, just so people will talk about it. Halo Art, I remember hearing something about that. He was sick. But also, like Hallie Dime is saying, however, this just seemed to be excessive coughing and clearing of the throat, which we all know can be a sign of deception. And Brooks says here he begged for his mom and she wouldn't speak to him. Oh, damn. That's nice to know. Okay.
Who's in for a lawsuit?
Everybody.
No, he's begging to talk to his mom and needing and wanting to talk to his mom during that confession footage for sure.
All the people that are the law enforcement agencies, the FBI, they're all in over their heads right now, especially over something thinking that all. And I can tell you that the only shit that they have right now is hearsay. It's he said this, she said that. Um, the detectives played me a couple of video clips when they interviewed me of with like Sarah's stepmom or Sarah's foster mom. How Sarah's foster mom was like, "Oh, Sarah told me that Stacey may have had something to do with the kidnapping and the disappearance and the burying of the body." So it's all literally hearsay. There's nothing. There's no all the video clips that they played. Even my lawyer was like, "This is pathetic." Uh, he goes, "They literally have nothing on you." And they're not going to have anything on me. I was not part of this.
He wasn't part of it, but on the confession and in the footage, he tells law enforcement where Michael Vaughn is buried in his yard, that he's buried in a garbage bag. He talks that maybe Brandon has him over at his mom's house. He talks about Brandon bounding Michael up. They're searching for duct tape when Chris Madonna's talking with him. They talk about whether or not Michael was in the trunk of one of the cars they're left at their home, but he didn't have anything to do with anything. The deflection is crazy. The way, and he does it so easily. You know what I mean? Just so easily. Brings me right back to the interview with Brandy and Stacey, how he treated her and how he could easily talk to her the way that he did and yell and scream and cuss at her and all of that absolutely horrible, horrible, horrible attitude and attacking without, yeah, without any heart, just being completely heartless.
At all. There was no part of me that was part of that. And I would never be a part of that. I would never associate with that. I would have literally probably, if I would have known that somebody had done that and I had known that person, I would have killed them.
Well, I can imagine. I can imagine. What do you think should happen to the person that abducted Michael?
I think they should be punished for the rest of their life. I think they should rot in prison.
I agree with you, Callie. Callie here says, by the time the interview with Chris McDonough, it sounded like they got rid of a lot of different things from the house that Stacey was not aware of. And I agree with you 100%. He talked about things being rearranged and everything. He even talked about fishing poles of his being gone. So much was done in that garage. So much was missing. And there was even a mattress, I guess, from one of the bedrooms that was missing.
I think they should suffer and reap what they did. Absolutely.
You will suffer.
Now, did you talk to any inmates when you were in jail about the abduction of Michael Vaughn?
It was self-explanatory. I was all over the news. I just told people that I wasn't going to talk about it because it's, anybody could turn a story around or twist it, yeah, I was questioned about it numerous times, but I wouldn't answer questions. Not to anybody like that. It's not their fucking business.
The people in jail.
Correct.
Well, did Brandon try to get an alibi after the interviews?
I have no idea. I don't have an answer to that. I don't know. I wasn't part of him being interviewed, so I don't know. Again, I will not answer questions. And I can honestly tell the truth too.
If there's anything you could say to the family of Michael Vaughn, what would you say?
I would say that I am extremely sorry that your little boy was abducted, and I would want them to know that my heart is 100% with them. I also want them to know that if I ever were to come in contact with a person, if this person was found that did this, they would be in a very, very, very huge world of hurt. And that comes from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry, Brandy, and I'm sorry, Tyler, for everything that you're going.
You guys see that? I'm sorry, Brandy, and I'm sorry, Tyler, for everything. Gulp. Huge gulp right there. Let's see that again. Huge gulp. And then he has to, this is a slip up right here. Because he literally apologizes to them for what he does, and then he has to add extra content to it because he realizes what he did. Holy crap. I never noticed this before. Let me see. Let's play it from here and see if I got it.
Michael Vaughn, what would you say?
I would say that I am extremely sorry that your little boy was abducted, and I would want them to know that my heart is 100% with them. I also want them to know that if I ever were to come in contact with a person, if this person was found that did this, they would be in a very, very, very huge world of hurt.
Okay, pay attention, guys. He's going to say, I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm sorry, Tyler, for everything. Watch the way he swallows and gulps and then realizes that he's basically apologizing to them for what he's done, but then has to correct it by adding extra content. Watch.
And that comes from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry, Brandy, and I'm sorry, Tyler, for everything that you're going through.
That you're going through.
And I wish and I pray every day and I cry nightly that this little boy comes home.
He's praying and crying every day. Why would you cry every day if you didn't do anything? I speak with Brandy and talk with Brandy. I've been involved in this case, as many other people have. I can't tell you that I haven't shed any tears, but I'm not here crying every day. So why is he saying he's crying every day? I don't believe he's crying every day. And if he is crying every day, that's just another I'm guilty sign, right? I'm just going to take a pause right here. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Yeah, I can't even handle him. He's a liar. He's guilty. He's full of shit. He did gulp so hard right there. Like, he literally admits to it. Well, let's stop looking at his face for a minute and let's look at Precious Michael. Michael Joseph Vaughn, missing from Fruitland, Idaho, around the corner from his house on July 27th, 2021. There are 4 named suspects that were updated January 10th, 2025. They are still suspects: Sarah Wondra, Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shurtleff, and Adrian Lucian. If you have a tip about Michael's abduction, if you know anything about Michael's abduction, if you know anything about any of these 4 suspects, if you've heard something, know something, please say something and call the Fruitland Police tip line at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. No tip is too small. You can remain anonymous. There is a reward over $52,000 of any information taking them to or the recovery of Michael Vaughn. Brandon, Adrian, if you have some kind of knowledge, please reach out to Brandy. Please reach out to law enforcement. Tell somebody what you know. Take the deal on the table. Just take a deal. Any deal. Make a deal, I guess is what I'm saying. Make a deal. Be the first one to make that deal. Adrian, if you're watching, if you have no involvement with the abduction, if you have no involvement with burying Michael or moving Michael, and you just have knowledge of something that happened, please come forward and talk to law enforcement. Brandon, the same to you. If you just saw something, if you saw somebody else do something, come forward. We know suspects are scared. They don't want to talk. Nobody wants to spend the rest of their life in prison, but that is what is going to happen. Life in prison, death penalty is on the table from what I understand. There are going to be consequences for you if you don't come forward and make a deal. It is time. If anybody out there has a tip, please, please, please call Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. It is time that Michael Monkey Vaughn gets the justice that he deserves. It is time for the Vaughn family to get peace. Brandy Neal Vaughn is very sick and she wants her son home. Him being taken, him being abducted, him being murdered made her this sick, made her so, so sick. Yes, she is a mother that drank. The drinking made her ill. But come on. I'm just saying, I might have to dive into a bottle. I might have to do some drugs. I might do whatever I could do to make it through the fact that my son is gone, that he is no longer here. And then later down the road, I have to accept the fact that my son's body was buried in the Wandra's yard, and then my son's body was moved. She is sick. And it is because of what these monsters, these four monsters, Sarah and Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shurtleff, and Adrian Lucian, have done with Michael that brought her to this breaking point of being so ill. But she's not drinking. She's not even smoking cigarettes. Brandy is doing amazing, doing everything she can to survive, to get this liver that she needs and will get, so that she can be there when these suspects are arrested and charged with the abduction and murder of Michael Joseph Vaughn. Period. She's never going to stop. Monkey's Army is never going to stop. We are all here and we are all fighting, and we are never going to give up no matter what. The four of you are messing with the wrong people, the wrong family, the wrong YouTube creators. We are never going to stop. You got a tip, 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. We are never going to stop. We are going to continue doing everything we have to do for the Vaughn family. If Brandy's so sick that she can't do things right now, we're going to be here doing it for her. And that's what it comes down to. You can run and hide. That's fine. You will be found. Fruitland's already said, though, they know exactly where these suspects are. So, Adrian, you can't hide. Brandon, you can't hide. All right. So let's get back to sharing the screen and doing some more. I think we still have like a little over 40 minutes left. Thank you guys so much. Halo Art says, I drank and used as many as my back was broken, and I did not get to see my son since he was 5. He is 21 now, but it hurts a mother so deeply. I'm sorry, Halo. Nobody knows what you would do if your child was missing. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what you're capable of handling. I call it, I'm going to pull up my suck it up underwear. I'll pull up my suck it up underwear past my head when it comes to needing to do something. Sorry, guys. My husband just came home and he's making a lot of racket as he's smiling behind me. You don't know what you're capable of doing. I don't know that I would be able to be as strong as Brandy has been. But then again, I've never been put in that position. And I don't know how well I would handle it. I don't know. if I would start drinking or doing drugs or doing any of the things that would numb you. Okay? But it isn't easy. It isn't easy. And we don't walk in Brandy's shoes, do we? She used to lay outside on the porch waiting for Monkey to come home. Her Tyler still to this day sleeps on the couch. They had to sit there and listen to bulldozers and dump trucks go up and down 8th Avenue, just right there, as they're going over to the Wondra's house and digging 4 feet into the ground. Nobody can sit and talk shit about that family, what they've been through, or say that anything that these parents have gone through and anything that they have done or the decisions that they have made are wrong, because nobody knows exactly, unless you've lost your child, unless they've been abducted and murdered, can you know exactly how they're feeling. I know, honey. I'm so sorry, Connie. Brandy is so strong and she is a warrior mama. She sure is. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive. Exactly. It was a crutch to get by, anything not to think about it for 1 minute. And even though it was a crutch, even though she was still probably every minute of every day of every second of every minute of every hour of every single day thinking about it, right? And we know that. She talks about it. Okay, let's keep going. We're Brandy. We're Brandy strong. We're Monkey's army. Keep praying, guys. Justice is coming.
Are you upset that they put your picture up as a suspect?
I'm very upset because I didn't have anything to do with it.
No, he's only upset because he did have something to do with it.
They have literally gotten backwards with things. I know for a fact I would never do something like this, ever.
So why is Brandon so focused on the crawl space in your master bedroom?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know that the crawl space literally consisted of an empty firearm box.
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry, you cut out.
Brandon, or sorry, I don't know why he's he's fixed on the crawl space, but I can tell you that there was nothing in that crawl space beside an empty firearm box. And to answer your question, Vet Girl, I have no idea why Brandon blames me for everything. It's pathetic. You know, they always say the first person to blame somebody is usually the first person that did it. So maybe, I don't know. I won't speak out of context because it's not my place to speak. I will only speak the truth and what I know. But it is bullshit that he blames me for.
But he speaks no truth, and that's the whole point of this live and several others that are coming, and the last live that we did, and however many times that we've sat here and talked about the lies and the contradictions, and yet he keeps going on and on and on panels, one right after the other. Even when people are pointing out his contradiction, he still just, does he believe his own damn lies? Who would keep getting up there from one panel, skipping around on this shit show, this YouTube shit show? How many times would you sit there and go from one creator to another, from one to another to another to another, when just after the first couple, you're already poking holes in his stories? Because he's lying about different times that he leaves the neighborhood, the time he's at the splash pad, the time he sees the kid. Everything is a lie that he talks about, and yet he is consistently going and going and going. Like he does not give two shits that anybody can see that he's lying.
For this.
Well, did Brandon never call you? And because I mean, he does speak around the internet. Did he
Oh,
ever
okay.
call you and want you to meet him for an alibi?
No, never. Not once.
Now let's talk about Sarah's behavior and Brandon's and Adrian's after July 27th.
Okay. What do you want to know?
How did it change?
My question is, Slim, why the hell is there bags of charcoal in the house? It's just weird. Medical supplies, charcoal. Not like charcoal you barbecue with, like charcoal.
Sarah, I only noticed Sarah's demeanor changing after this all went down, and I noticed, like I was telling you this morning, I noticed that she was posting a lot of God videos.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I actually did. And I'm going to be doing it again because I'm going to go over more of Sarah's TikToks, because we're going to go through and we're going to go through things we've already seen and know, including the Carson Starkey interview that JLR did. Like, we're going to just keep going through all these interviews and listening and everything else. But I did a show about Sarah Wondra and her TikToks. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. You can watch Sarah from when she first starts, like, say, like the day Michael disappears, all the way moving forward until like the end of October, November. You see her mental health declining more and more and more and more, to the point where she is writing Bible scriptures on her arms. She swears she's talking to God, that God is talking to her. She's writing scriptures on her t-shirts. She is mentally not okay. And the only thing I can think of, even though I know Sarah's a monster, I do believe she is a monster. I do believe that Sarah is a very violent person, especially when she gets pissed off at somebody. I do believe that. But how far does that go? She told her ex-husband that she wanted to kidnap people. What were her plans after that? After they kidnapped people, what else did she want to do? Was she capable of murder? Is she capable of murder? Did she harm Michael? We don't know. But could her mental health be either she did something to Michael and then later couldn't handle it, or did she witness and see somebody else do something to Michael and witness this unimaginable horror that she couldn't deal with? And that's why you slowly start watching her mental health decline more and more in just a few months after Michael was abducted and murdered.
She was everything that she was.
I don't know if Sarah Stacey had a CPAP machine, baby kisses.
I don't know. I don't. She was just, her whole demeanor changed. Everything was off about her after this, and I didn't really thinking about it. Like, I thought.
And he clears his throat right there. Her whole demeanor changed. and then does his clearing of the throat. Is that him thinking back of why he thinks her mental health changed? Just saying.
Thought she was just, this is something a new phase or something like. But I don't know.
Yes, I do. I want to review and watch her decline on her videos. My only thing is I don't mind having TikTok on my phone, but I don't want it on my home computer. So I'm either going to have to just make a bunch of videos from her TikToks and then share them that way or something. But you can seriously go find her on TikTok and watch that decline. Or you can go watch the previous live that I've done, which we could actually go over again. And just add some commentary to it. But it's very, very telling watching her decline that way. Her mental health just very fast. And I think that's why she freaks out so bad when they break down in Texas. I almost think she was having like some panic attack issues or panic issues or something. And then when she's stranded in Texas, like she's freaking out about them being stranded.
I didn't realize what she was doing until after I got arrested, that, she was she became dramatic.
Actually, the televisions were not pawned. They were repoed. They were paying, renting to own their televisions, and they got picked up. And yes, Stacey has gone off and said before that, the TVs were removed from the house and they didn't watch them because Sarah talked about, them being evil and this and that. But I just wanted to clear up. They weren't pawned. They were rent to own and they ended up getting repoed. As far as, well, you don't know what's true or not, right? Because this is all coming out of Stacey's mouth. Did they get repoed? Did they get pawned? Who the hell knows?
Give me 1 second.
Oh, you're okay. Just take your time.
Thank you, Blue Herring, for this comment. I have a CPAP machine too, and no charcoal is involved. However, activated charcoal is used in cases of poisoning. Yes, they also use charcoal on people that have tried to take medicines, too much medicines, to harm themselves, and suicide type issue, like that kind of thing also. Thank you for bringing that up. It was just really strange to hear that they had so much of it in the house. It was weird.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if that California King was rent to own too. Good point, Hello Art.
And I work at, oh my gosh, work. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, okay. 45. Okay.
Dakota wants to know why Sarah was so dramatic over getting stuck in the mud, like it was a huge deal.
We were just talking about that.
I have no idea. She didn't seem dramatic to me, but again, maybe it's just because I'm so used to her, or was so used to her.
So used to her, clears his throat. So here, what's the deception? Is he just saying she didn't make a big deal out of them being stuck in the mud? Because, I mean, on social media, she was making a huge big deal out of it and even talking about it on her TikTok. She was scared to death about being stuck in the mud.
There was nothing dramatic about it.
Hair curlers and crime. Amazing question. Would that type of charcoal absorb odor? Well, isn't that something to look into? I will do that before our next live. Actually, I'll look it up right now while we're still watching and check it out. That's an awesome. I have an amazing chat. Thank you. Really something to think about there. Hello, Opal. Good to see you.
Who all stayed at the house the night that Michael went missing?
Sarah and Brandon.
Where was Adrian?
He was out doing his thing with his girlfriend or girly girl or whoever this chick he was banging was. I don't know.
Here he's saying Adrian wasn't at home the night that Michael came up missing, and then on my panel, he said that Adrian was home. I actually got him to say that Adrian was home. He first says he wasn't, then he changes his mind and says he was. And I really believe he did that to put Adrian in the house so that he had somebody else to blame. Because all the rest of the time he's saying that Adrian wasn't there. And Adrian continues to this day to say the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. I was set up. So was Adrian set up? He's the only one that has the most consistent story out of all four suspects. And I keep pointing that out because it's fact. He does. His story has not changed. Ever. From what I have seen.
I know he wasn't home that night. He wasn't even home that day.
Did he ever have guests at the house?
Yeah, he tried bringing chicks home a couple times, and we got mad at him for it. So that's why he was out and about with this girl, because we told him he wasn't allowed to bring other females. Oh, look, Sarah's calling. Go figure.
I'll put her on.
No, it's a three-way call. I can't do that in the jail phone call
I don't see why not.
because third-party calls are not allowed.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah, no, it's not me that gets.
Hair curlers and crime. So here's the answer to would charcoal absorb odors? Could you use it? And it says, yes, charcoal, particularly activated charcoal, is affected. Sorry, let me start over. Yes, charcoal, particularly, activated charcoal is effective at absorbing odors due to its high, porosity and large surface area, which allows it to trap odor molecules. Charcoal structure consists of millions of tiny pores creating a large surface area. These pores act like tiny traps holding odor molecules and other pollutants through a process called absorption. Activated charcoal is made by heating charcoal to a high temperature, which further increases its porosity and surface area, making it even better at absorbing odors. You can use charcoal in trash cans and diaper pills, closets and laundry areas, flower arrangements, basements, and other areas prone to musty smells. And now I'm reading basements and thinking crawl space. I don't know why my mind just wandered there. I'm going to continue doing a little bit of research while we continue moving forward. Let me know if you guys see anything that is crazy. So I wonder if it could absorb enough odor that a cadaver dog wouldn't hit on something in the house. I don't know. I'm taking guesses. I'm speculating, theorizing here.
Gets in trouble, it's her. She'll get she wanted to be able to call her mom. They'll suspend her phone account.
Yes, they didn't own a charcoal grill. They had grills that were propane. Yes, that's what I'm saying. This charcoal that was found, it was found in medical supplies, according to what Chris Madonna said. I don't even think it's the same kind of charcoal as like the kind of charcoal that you would use for a grill.
You can just answer it and talk to her.
No, it's okay. I've already hung up.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk to her anyways, to be honest.
But I mean, was she that way before Michael went missing? Before Michael was abducted?
No. Her demeanor changed completely. But I don't know.
And I don't mean to get into your business, but I mean, with fetal alcohol syndrome, can that cause someone to act without thinking of the consequences? Is that part of the diagnosis?
Like impulse control? Sometimes. But
Oh my gosh, you guys. So, in looking into this a little bit further, I swear if police ever went through my phone and saw the things that I Google and things that I look up on my phone, they might think that I'm like a person that harms people. So I looked up to find out whether or not charcoal could absorb the smell of a decomposed body enough to where cadaver dogs wouldn't be able to alert on it. This is what it says. Yes, activated charcoal can absorb the smell of decomposed bodies as its porous structure allows to trap odor molecules, reducing the smell in the affected area. We already went over how it works in the odor absorption, but it is saying that activated charcoal can absorb the smell of a decomposing body. I'm sorry if this is a trigger warning for anybody else. Please take care of your mental health. Brandy always wants everybody to do that. Just take care of your mental health. If we're talking about something that's hard for you to talk about, I literally have to detach my emotions to talk about these kinds of things and try not to think about Michael while I'm talking about this. It's very hard to listen to. I know. I'm very sorry for anybody in chat, but I'm glad we looked this up. It's something to just not only just look into, but in hopes that law enforcement or somebody can, maybe I'll even write something out or something and send into Find Michael, the email, Find Michael. Oh gosh, now I'm fumbling. Find Michael at fruitland.org, send in an email just to point this out that they were in the house, but they know it was in the house because Chris Madonna found it. So they may have already looked into this information, but it might be something just to point out. Yeah, I don't know, Blue Herring. Like, would they have given him something and then tried using it to reverse it? I don't know. They had cat litter as well. Brandon said something about the cats in the crawl space. Yes, the cats would go down and use that crawl space almost like a friggin' cat box. And Brandon is given description. I've talked about this before. Brandon is given description of the house. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, crawl space. And he starts talking about this crawl space. I always thought it was very strange that you're describing a house and that you mention this crawl space. And we don't know what happened to Michael. We don't know anything. if they maybe have kept him down in the crawl space for a short period of time before they buried him or whatnot. We don't know, only speculating, only talking, theorizing here as we go through all of these Stacey Wondra interviews to see if we can catch things. And I really believe it sounded like there was a lot of charcoal. So that's why I was like, what's up with all the charcoal? Why would they have so much?
Been in group homes almost. I was in for group homes from 11 to 23, and I took and exercised every amount of counseling and therapy that I could to be who I am today. So I know I would not make a decision like that. No, even impulsively. I mean, no matter how bad of a position I was in or how bad Sarah wanted a kid, you got me fucked up if you think that I'm going to go through and try to do something like that.
Was it a huge argument with you guys? Her wanting a child?
Mm.
I don't mean to say huge
No,
argument.
no, I mean, it wasn't really an argument. It was just,
I'm just going to fast forward through this child thing because I don't believe there's any relevance to it. I don't even believe that that's why they were all hooking up with each other.
you know,
why was he the only person that was allowed to drink alcohol in the house?
he wasn't. He's stupid. I drank alcohol. Sarah consumed alcohol. Brandon consumed alcohol. We all drank, but I just drank. Sarah and I drank at a whole nother level than Brandon. Like, Brandon would get plastered drunk. I would drink 1 or 2 beers and be good.
Did law enforcement ever talk to you before November of 2022?
They came and did interviews with us. Yeah, they interviewed us at the house, asking if we seen anything, asking if we know anything. No, we don't. I don't even know this person.
So this is a weird question, and you don't have to answer it. Again, if you're not comfortable, don't do it.
Okay.
If Sarah had had a child or was pregnant, would she stop having sex with Adrian or Brandon?
Where the Vaughn family picture, this says Vaughn's family home, right? But
Okay.
I fast forward through the maps and stuff
Cat Toe said, is that the same?
because there's some misinformation with Stacey and the map and everything there, and I don't want to confuse anybody because I've talked about the maps and stuff, and I talked to Brandy about all of that. She sent me videos. So yeah, I just don't want people getting confused listening to that. So I just wanted to make sure to let everybody know. Yes, crawl space was in the master bedroom. And I just got sent something too that I want to share with everybody. Those, you guys know those, so you guys know those things that you can buy that you stick in your window seal, or you can sit around like, or where you do your laundry or whatever, those little, this one's called a room shocker for extreme odor eliminator. They're just like these little containers that you can put in certain areas to get rid of odors. Kelly just sent me a picture of this, and it's made from medical grade activative charcoal. So even your odor eliminator things that you can buy are made with this particular kind of charcoal. it's crazy because I have done a lot of research, especially going over Michael Vaughn's case about cadaver dogs, how far down they can smell, if they can smell in concrete, if they can smell in water, how far down. I know they can go about 65 feet before they start losing their scent. They can smell that far in water and in the ground and through concrete. And everything I've ever read, and I've also looked up many different things. What could help a dog? Like, I know lavender, dogs are allergic to lavender. And if there's lavender around, sometimes it can throw the scent off of a cadaver dog. Not that, I mean, they can still wander around it. They don't have like really bad allergic reactions, but it really affects their sense, almost like an allergy would, clogs up your nose, gives you watery eyes, that kind of thing. Not like an allergic reaction, like they break out with a rash, whatnot. But I have done a lot of research and everything, looking to find things that can mess with a dog's scent. And I did not know this about charcoal. So charcoal, at the medical grade activated charcoal, can and will disrupt a cadaver dog. It can absorb a body that's decomposing.
Truck you took to deliver the puppy.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you, Kelly.
The puppy to Grants Pass, yes. But we took her car to Texas. But I think she's referring to Grants Pass.
Okay. Now, did you see Sarah and Brandon, or just Brandon, search the field near the river?
Did I see him what?
Search the field near the river.
No, I didn't see him at all. I wasn't with them when they went searching, remember? I was trying to get the truck and the car detached.
Well, I'm just answering questions as they come in. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm answering as they come in. Like, I wasn't even with them that night.
And again, just want to repeat, as we're going through these Stacey Wondra videos, as we're running into things and having questions about things that we know that we've heard and everything else is pure speculation. We're theorizing here. We have not verified any kind of information, just going through these and listening. Just want everybody to keep that in mind. We do not need anybody leaving here and spreading rumors with the information that we are talking about. Like, we don't want anybody to leave here and go, oh my God, they had charcoal inside their house because they were trying to absorb the odor of Michael. No, let's not do that, okay? I hate rumors. I don't spread them. This is pure speculation and theorizing going on. Let's keep that in mind when we leave here to talk about it, please. Rumors hinder cases. Rumors go on for years and years and years and years. They just continue to go on. There's still hundreds of rumors. In Kyron Horman's case, 15 years later, okay, guys? So let's just keep this in mind. Please, it's very important.
When I got back, they went to go look for Michael, and I was trying to get the car separated, detached from the truck.
Well, now, what time did you put the fluid in the truck?
Between 6 and 6:15.
Okay, I got you.
Earlier, she asked him about putting power steering in the truck. She does this again, asks him the same question. Early on in the interview, it was 5:40 or 5:30 to 5:45. Then it was 6, near the 6 o'clock hour. Now it's 6 to 6:15. Michael came up missing between 6:40 and 7:10. According to law enforcement. So now the further he goes with leaving the area, he's like starting to put himself in that window where Michael Vaughn was abducted.
Did Sarah or Brandon ever mention the Vaughn family before he disappeared?
No, never.
I just wonder how Carson knew exactly where they lived and where Brandy Neal works.
I have no idea. I didn't even know Carson knew that, to be honest with you. That's news to me.
Yeah, Brandon said they were driving and getting milk.
No, they were on foot. They couldn't even exit the the driveway. There was no car. I mean, they couldn't get the car out. And they never brought home milk that night, Christina.
Well, how many times before had you towed a car?
Quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Because I wouldn't know how to do it.
Oh, gee, yeah, no, I used to haul big trailers. You know, like I mean, I've got not semi trucks, but you know what I mean. Like I can drive big rig. You know, like I don't know how to do it all.
Now, what about the mall and Applebee's?
It isn't what Brandon said. Brandon said that he got out of the truck and did the power steering fluid. Then he says him and Stacey did the power steering fluid. And what are you referring to, Callie? That not what Brandon said. Now he can see chat again. Oops. Sorry, I was reading your comment out loud, but what are you talking about? Because yeah, Brandon put himself outside the truck doing power steering fluid also in the interview that he did with me.
I don't know anything about it. I know that Sarah took Adrian and Brandon. They all took a trip early that morning to go take Adrian to go see his kid.
Now, see, he's saying here that they left earlier that morning. I don't believe that Brandon says that it was earlier that morning. They were there when Stacey got the phone call around 11 o'clock so that Stacey could leave the house to go do that taxi ride. Kelly Dime says here, Brandon said they got to the house and he and Sarah drove around looking for Michael. While they didn't find him, they went to the gas station and bought milk and went back home. Yes, he does say that. Yeah, he says that they went driving around. He didn't say that they were out on foot. And Stacey says they never came back to the house with milk. Yet Brandon says they went to the store that night to get milk.
In Boise. But I'm not exactly sure what day that was.
And good point, Slim. Applebee's doesn't serve breakfast.
But Adrian wanted to go see his kid in Boise. His ex-girlfriend was going to bring the kid to him. But Adrian Brandon and Sarah were the only people that went.
Now, what about the water at your house? Because Brandon said he had to get his own water from his mother's house.
He's so stupid. He drank so much water at our house. He's lying to you guys.
Okay. Well, he put this on another interview.
He's stupid. He's lying, guys. Like, do not believe him at all. He is no.
All right, so that day you did a taxi run from Ontario to
And then Kelly also says, however, Brando also mentioned that when they pulled up to the house and was getting ready to leave to look for Michael, they had asked Carson about his trucks and his lights. Right. Yep. Applebee's in my area only does if it's a fundraiser. It definitely does not daily. Bring a kid to him. How far back was that, Slim? Bring a kid to him. Can we replay? I don't know how far back to go. I will go back 2 minutes. Wait, let's go back 1 minute.
because Brandon said he had to get his own water from his mother's house.
He's so stupid. He drank so much water at our house. He's lying to you guys.
When you know it's going to come up, Slim, give me like a red flag. I did rewind like about a minute.
Okay. Well, he put this on another interview.
He's stupid. He's lying, guys. Like, do not believe him at all. He is no.
All right. So that day you did a taxi run from Ontario to Boise.
Correct.
Now, what time did you get home? Roughly.
So, like, I'd say I was gone at least from, like, I think I left the house at like 1, and I didn't get back to like 3:30 or 4.
3:30 or 4.
Correct.
Where did you guys go after 4 o'clock? Because you said around 6:15 at Southwest and 8th is when you put the power steering fluid in.
For Arizona and 8th, yes.
No, I'm sorry.
We were at home. Brandon, Sarah, and I were at home.
Oh, so you went home and left again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, correct. We had gone home because we had to go get the truck. I didn't have the truck with me. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to go home. As I went home, Sarah was already there with Brandon. And oh my God, Jesus, I'm up. And so we had to. Oh my God. We had to come home. Brandon then asked us if we would help him get his car from CUNA. At that point, we agreed, and so we hopped in the truck, and I put the tow strap and everything in the back, and we left.
I'm just going to mark down this timeline, or this timestamp, I mean. 2 hours, 34 seconds. I think we might have missed it, Slim, but I'm going to go back, and then we can touch on that another time. Just because I will go back and look, too. I know it's somewhere before this timestamp. I'll go back like 5 minutes and see if I can't bring a kid to him. I'm going to write that down. Okay. We'll definitely look into that one.
Okay. All right.
I think so too, Slim. Sorry. You know what? If everybody else is fine with it, I'm fine with it. I'll go back some. Let's see. Let's go back to...
Carson knew that, to be honest with you. That's news to me.
Yeah, Brandon said they were driving and getting milk.
No, they were on foot.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm answering.
Okay, I went back 5 minutes. It was Adrian's girlfriend bring his kid a kid to him. Okay.
Answering as they come in. Like, I wasn't even with them that night. When I got back, they went to go look for Michael, and I was trying to get the car separated, detached from the truck.
I went back some more because that's where they talk about Adrian.
Okay. Cat Toe said, "Is that the same truck you took to deliver the puppy?"
Correct. Yep. The puppy to Grants Pass, yes. But we took her car to Texas. But I think she's referring to Grants Pass.
Okay. Now, did you see Sarah and Brandon, or just Brandon, search the field near the river?
Did I see him what?
Search the field near the river.
No, I didn't see him at all. I wasn't with them when they went searching, remember? I was trying to get the truck and the car detached.
I think that was long before.
Well, I'm just answering questions as they come in. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm answering as they come in. Like, I wasn't even with them that night. When I got back, they went to go look for Michael, and I was trying to get the car separated, detached from the truck.
Well, now, what time did you put the fluid in the truck?
Between 6 and 6:15.
Okay, I got you. Did Sarah or Brandon ever mention the Vaughn family before he disappeared?
No, never.
I just wonder how Carson knew exactly where they lived and where Brandy Neal works.
No worries, Slim. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. I was just trying to find it for everybody, but I don't want to listen to another 5 minutes of this either. So we will find it, though. If you can send me the timestamp, let me put my email in here, Slim, for you. And then if you find this timestamp, you can send it over to me. And then that way we can look at it, see it, check it out tomorrow. All right, let's fast forward right here. This is where we were earlier. I appreciate you, Slim, though. Thank you.
I don't fucking know. Brandon, it makes no sense. There's that night we towed the vehicle, or went to go pick the vehicle up. I asked Brandon for a bottle of water because we didn't have any water with us and I was thirsty. But so Brandon got me a couple bottles of water along with him and Sarah. But Brandon always drank.
You guys remember? And Brandon, wow, okay. That's new. So let's see, 202 here. Okay, so in Brandon's interview that I did with him, he mentions that Stacey went into the house, and along with that even said something about Stacey getting a drink. So here I think maybe we have truths and lies. Truth is, Stacey saying here he asked Brandon for a drink, so Brandon got bottles of water, when in all reality, Stacey's just deflecting from the fact that he went into the house to get a drink. Is that what this is right here?
drank the water at our house. There was nothing wrong with it. It was good water. I mean, we used our refrigerator water because we have a filter on it. We towed the vehicle, or went to go pick the vehicle up. I asked Brandon for a bottle of water because we didn't have any water with us and I was thirsty. But so Brandon got me a couple bottles of water along with him and Sarah. But Brandon always drank the water at our house. There was nothing wrong with it. It was good water. I mean, we used.
Kelly knows exactly because she's like went through that video, I know, 100 times probably already. Kelly says that Brandon says it's a long day. He could have used the restroom and get some water. I just remember him saying Stacey could have got some water. So, yeah, is Stacey just trying to deflect from the fact that he got some water in the house? He does not want to put himself in the house.
Used our refrigerator water because we have a filter on it and stuff. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the water. I've seen Brendan drink water 1,000,000 times at our house.
And I probably have already forgotten who was driving.
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. I'm just confused because I have very bad night vision.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. And so why not wait till it's daylight to tow the car? Was there something imperative that Brandon had to have his car there?
Brandon was very impulsive when it came to his questions or his decisions. Worse than me, way worse. He'd been asking us for a couple days to help him, at least a week, and we've been putting it off. And finally, we're just like, fuck it, we'll just get it over with. I think that's why we did it that night, just because we were so done with him hounding us about it,
So you just caved. You just caved.
We're just like, fuck it, just go get it and get it over with.
Who pays for the jail calls when Sarah calls you? Because she's been calling a lot.
She does. I haven't put any money on her books. Her mom puts money on her books.
Well, now, has Sarah ever towed a car before?
No, she wanted to learn, and so I was like, the only way to learn is just doing. So let's do this.
And out of all nights, they have Sarah driving a vehicle to learn how to tow. It's this night. Now, again, kind of a trigger warning for anybody that may not want to be hearing any kind of speculation and stuff in regards to Michael. But having Sarah drive the vehicle so that two strong men, can deal with Michael if they have Michael at the time when they go to Kuna.
So I guided her, told her what she needed to do, and she did it. So,
and why on earth is she calling you? You guys are in the midst of a divorce.
I don't know. I've told her, and I don't hardly answer her calls, and when I do, it's literally, I just want to see how you're doing today. Okay. And
but you guys are in the midst of a divorce.
Yeah, it didn't get dark until I want to say it was 9:27 when it got dark on July 27th. You're saying Brandon said they were at Tina's for 5 to 30 minutes. How did they drive back in the dark if it didn't get dark till around 9 p.m.? Yeah, magic. Yeah, Opal says magic. Da 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 da.
She calls me every day, and 90% of them are done. 98% of the time, I don't even answer.
Which is a lie.
And I've told her I told her that I want a divorce, so I don't know why she doesn't grasp that. But
between Kuna and Fruitland, did you guys stop anywhere?
Sarah had to use the restroom, so we stopped
Here is where I don't get it, and I just realized right here, he mentions that they had to stop because Sarah had to use the restroom. Why wouldn't he say something to the effect of, well, yeah, we stopped on the way to Fruitland because the tow strap broke and we had to pull off at the side of the road, and then maybe go on and say something like, we were there long enough, to fix the tow and Sarah had to pee. But why does he mention Sarah had to pee and that's the reason why they pulled over? That doesn't make sense to me. So if that's not making sense to me, how much of this tow rope breaking story can we actually believe? Something right here is not right. Because they didn't just pull over to the side of the road because Sarah had to go to the bathroom. And they also said that when they got to Kuna, that Sarah went into the house to go to the bathroom. And I get it. My bladder sucks. I pee all the time. Maybe hers did too. And especially when you're a diabetic, you pee more. But I'm just saying, she's asking him a specific question here. Did you guys stop anywhere from Kuna to Fruitland? And he's mentioning that Sarah had to pee and they pulled over. But that's the first thing he mentions, not that, well, yeah, the tow strap broke. So I'm finding deceit here. Kelly says at first he said Sarah went to Tina's and used the restroom. Then Stacey says that she peed on the side of the road. I'm just saying, I pee all the time. I know that might be an FYI for everybody, but diabetics do pee all the time, especially if people not taking care of their diabetes, which I do know Sarah didn't take care of her diabetes, would put her in ketoacidosis, would make her want to drink and pee constantly. But I'm not saying that as an excuse. I just think that there's something to this, because why would you just say that first? Why not mention that the toe strap broke?
we had
I want to
took
listen to
the
this again.
back road to Fruitland, the old highway from I think it's called the Black Canyon Highway, I think. So we had took I've told her I told her that I want a divorce, so I don't know why she doesn't grasp that. But
Between Kuna and Fruitland, did you guys stop anywhere?
Sarah had to use the restroom, so we stopped we had
Yeah, what? He's choking up right here. Even he says she had to use the restroom, and then he starts fumbling his words. We know clearing throat, fumbling words. Fumbling words is even a bigger thing, that he is lying about something.
took the back road to Fruitland, the old highway from I think it's called the Black Canyon Highway, I think. But we had stopped on the Eagle Road. I don't remember what road it was exactly, but we had stopped and pulled over for a second because the tow strap came undone. It snapped because.
And he talks about not knowing the names of the roads. He's a taxi driver. When you're driving areas a lot, you know the names of the roads. So why is he deflecting from names of roads here? Just saying.
Sarah jolted the truck and snapped the tow strap. So I had to, we had to pull over, and then I had.
As he's talking about Sarah jolting, causing it to break, he's looking up, he looks straight down, he looks uncomfortable. I'm going to rewind. I want to play this again. Did this toe strap thing even happen? Did it even happen?
So we had took the back road to Fruitland.
Well, now, has Sarah ever towed a car before?
No, she wanted to learn, and so I was like, the only way to learn is just doing. So let's do this,
Yes.
and I guided her,
And
told her
pulling
what
his
she
hair.
needed to do, and she did it. So,
And why on earth is she calling you? You guys are in the midst of a divorce.
I don't know. Stopped on the Eagle Road. Stopped on.
Come on.
And when I do, it's literally, I just want to see how you're doing today. Okay. And
But I mean, you guys are in the midst of a divorce.
but
I mean, between Kuna and Fruitland, did you guys stop anywhere?
Here we go.
Sarah had to use the restroom, so we stopped we had took the back road to Fruitland, the old.
Okay. First red flag. Sarah uses the restroom. To me, the fact that he's mentioning this is big. Used restroom instead of mentioning the toe. The second red flag to me is that he's fumbling his words. And then he starts closing his eyes, talking about using this Eagle Creek Road.
Old highway from I think it's called the Black Canyon Highway, I think. But we had stopped on the Eagle Road. I don't remember what road it was exactly, but
okay, so third red flag here is that he's deflecting from the names of these roads. Deflecting.
we had stopped and pulled over for a second because the tow strap came undone. It snapped because Sarah jolted the truck.
Kelly says, Samantha, I get what you were saying. The toe strap broke. That would be the first and most important thing to say, not Sarah used in the restroom. Exactly. That's just, and then he just can't remember the names of the road. I travel a lot. I know my names of the road. I know direction. If you're a taxi driver, bus driver, truck driver, you know your direction. You know where you're at. So why is he deflecting off of the names of these roads when he knows where he was? It's almost like he's deflecting because he doesn't want anybody there. But we know where he was because of other lives that he did when he showed his phone, and we got to see where it was pinned, where he actually was. So that really makes you wonder, like, what the hell were they doing off that side of the road, and did a tow strap break? I'd be surprised if LA and state police safety officers allowed this dangerous strap tow. State police monitor back roads. All I know, Slim, is that we have used tow ropes here in our neck of the woods, me and my husband anyway. We've actually used ropes tied with knots and not just tow straps, and gone down the freeway, gone down back roads. I'm not sure what the laws are in Idaho, but I know people do it. And it's not hard to do if you have the person in the back knowing how to use their brakes, because the person in the back driving the car pretty much has to put on their brakes in that vehicle to help slow down the person in front of you that's actually towing them. You have to try slowing them down. And if you don't do it correctly, yeah, there is a jolt and things can snap loose.
Can snap the tow strap. So I had to, we had to pull over, and then I had to reattach or tie the tow strap back together.
Good point. Opal doesn't know when she peed today, but she knows that she says, but I know I did. Not important to, to recall it. So yeah, why is it even important that he even brings up the fact that Sarah pees? Why is that of any importance? Good point, Opal.
And then Sarah, I think, used the restroom on the side of the road like she usually did when we had no access to a restroom, but then that was the only time we had stopped.
Entire thing. Now he's yawning. Yawning is another sign of someone deflecting, lying. I won't rewind this. too much. I want to see this yawn, this look as he's talking about her peeing again.
Jolted the truck and snapped the tow strap. So I had to.
You guys seeing his whole demeanor here? He's nervous. He's not looking at the camera. He can't look at himself while he's talking, that he usually does do. He's looking down. He's fumbling with his hair. He's very nervous here.
We had to pull over, and then I had to reattach or tie the tow strap back
Closing
together.
eyes, blinking, clearing throat.
And then Sarah, I think, used the restroom.
He started off with, get that? Did you guys just notice that? He starts off with, well, yeah, we had to pull over because Sarah had to use the restroom. And then right here says, I think Sarah had to use the restroom. Wow. Wow, you guys. This is why we're doing this. See, this is huge to me. I'm like such a true crime junkie. I just am. So going through these videos and listening to this, when we catch things like this, I get stoked. I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Why are there so many red flags here? Why is he so uncomfortable? What is it about this stop on the side of the road? What does this tell us?
We had stopped and pulled over for a second because the tow strap came undone. It snapped because Sarah jolted the truck and snapped the tow strap. So
Exactly, Opal. He says he couldn't even mow the lawn, but he's pushing a vehicle out of the driveway. He's like fixing this tow strap that just broke.
I had to.
Listen, it's going to come. He's going to turn around and then say, and I think Sarah had to pee. When he started off saying they pulled over so Sarah could pee.
We had to pull over, and then I had to reattach or tie the tow strap back together.
So he clears his throat after saying he had to fix the tow strap. I'm just wondering if this tow strap breaking is even true now. Totally wondering if it's even true.
And then Sarah, I think, used the restroom.
Sarah, I think, used the restroom. Sarah, I think, when he said that was the reason they pulled over without mentioning the tow strap. Right, Kelly? You and I talked about this on the phone, right? You sit and you listen to everything over and over and over and over again. And I told you about the Kyron Horman case and how I read into articles all the time, but I do it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. But then one time, you hear something. You hear it. You hear the slip. And here it is. Kelly says, good catch. I've listened to this. I don't know how many times and did not catch that. Thank you, Samantha. That was a great idea. This was a great idea. Yeah, going through this, I just really thought was important. Like I just got done saying, I've explained this to people before. Me and my admins going over Kyron's case, looking at different reports, going through things. We look through things 100 times or more, even court documents. And then you see something you didn't see before. And then you look over that same thing, a month later, and then you see something else you didn't see before. Again and again and again. And here, this is huge to me. Matter of fact, I really have a couple of things that I might just have to type out and send to law enforcement because this here to me is huge. I am having a hard time believing that they pulled over to the side of the road to do a tow strap. Matter of fact, I need to stop right here because I need to write down timestamps for this. I'm going to just put 2 hours, 6 minute in and before that. So maybe we'll just say at the hour 2. So to go through this again and again, because this is crazy. His whole demeanor also changes here, his facial expressions and everything. He usually likes watching himself on his phone as he's doing the interview. He's not doing it here.
On the side of the road, like she usually did, when we had no access.
Like she usually did. He realizes he's messed up here, closing his eyes.
To a restroom, but then that was the only time we had stopped.
And there's the big yawn. I don't know if you guys have ever met a liar. Have you guys ever met a liar besides Stacey? Have you ever met a liar, a friend, a family member, anything, a child? Did you ever notice them yawn when they lie? Like when they just told like the big fat story that's just so not true? I know a liar in my family. And this is one of the big, big red flags to me. When they yawn, I know there's a lie. I know it. They yawn when they're lying.
I mean, why didn't she use a bathroom at Brandon's mom's house?
She did.
Oh, okay.
Her bladder is ridiculous. I've never met somebody who has to pee as much as her.
Yeah, well, you haven't met me.
Yeah, Baby Kisses says, I have seen kids do the yawn thing. And, you know, Stacey's really childlike if you think about it. I mean, that huge yawn right there, that was fake. That was such a fake yawn. How many people know what a fake yawn, yawn looks like? That looked like a very pushed, fake yawn, still trying to deflect from the fact that I just literally talked about this pulling over to the side of the road. So what the hell were they doing? They weren't doing what he said they were doing, obviously.
Maybe not.
My friend Kat, who's in here, she'll tell you I'm like a turtle. If you touch me, I've got to pee.
Gotta pee.
Well, I think you're doing great and you're being very transparent.
Thank you. Doing the best I can, I want people to know, like, I'm not this evil monster that, people are making me out to be. I don't.
Yes, you are. You proved that during your interview with Brandy that you're nothing but a monster. Stacey Wondra.
I can't be that person. I physically do not have the capability or mentally.
Exactly, Green Girl. Thank you for being here, by the way. I don't know that I've ever seen you in here. Thank you, Beverly Lawyer, for showing up. I appreciate you guys coming in. Green Girl says also keep track of when he mentions any streets or roads that they took, because he kind of says some and slips. Yes, he talks about the Eagle Creek Road, Canyon Road, something like that. What is it? Eagle Creek, Canyon, something. We've gone over this because Stacey Wondra showed his phone and like where his phone pinged that day and everything else. And we were able to, like, in this area, we knew where he kind of was, that he said that this tow thing happened. But now I'm just like, okay, what happened there? Why did they have to pull over? I mean, do we know for a fact that they actually did tow Brandon's car back? Do we know that? Is there proof of that? Was his Mercedes sitting in front of the Wandra's house afterwards? Kelly's saying 100% to the fact that the car was there. Do you know, Kelly? Give me another 100% if we know for a fact that the Mercedes ended back up at the Wandra's. I asked Callie because she is close to Brandy and she knows a lot of information. I don't know that I had confirmed it, But yeah, was Brandon's Mercedes there at the Wondra's house? And if so, even if they did tow from Kuna back to Fruitland, if we are believing right now, because of the way he's acting, that it wasn't a tow strap that broke, but they pulled over, why would they pull over? And I've also believed that that area has been looked at and searched. I even know that Hot Mess took her dogs there to go look in that area. I have no clue where that car's at now. Didn't Brandon say he'd have to find out? That was the BMW, because I think that there was a Mercedes and a BMW, and it was my bad during the interview that I did with Brandon. I called it a BMW when it was actually a Mercedes, so that was like my mistake.
So Brandon's,
Ouch.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Slim says last he seen Brandon's Mercedes was parked in Carson's driveway. There is one of Brandon's cars at Carson's house. Is that the BMW or the Mercedes? I've heard both. I've heard contradictions in that. So I'm not sure 100% either way. So I don't want to say 100% one way or the other.
I'm good.
Brandon's, I guess, ex-employer said he's basically like a Ted Bundy. He's a psychopath.
Brandon's ex-employer said that?
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, it's news to me too. I I don't know the exact definition of a psychopath, but I know it's not good. I don't
Well,
know.
that made Stacey
Brandon
nervous.
is not mentally stable.
Well, when you were at Brandon's mom's house, you said Sarah used the bathroom. Did she walk in the front door, or how did she get in?
Through the garage.
Is it like one of those garage doors that you hit the button and the garage door comes up, or is it one of those like where you pull it up?
No, it was the garage door button.
Who had the garage door opener?
He knows the code to the little thing that's on the side of the garage that opens the garage door. The pin you put in, the code opener.
Is there any cameras on his mom's house?
Yeah, on the front, but it doesn't cover the. She went through the far side of the garage, and she only has cameras on the front of her door.
And that was the day that Michael was abducted.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Oh man.
How come Brandon wasn't living with his mom?
Brandon burned a lot of bridges with his mom. Burned a lot. He stole from her, took from her, lied to her numerous times. He just burned a lot of bridges.
Even if he did burn bridges with his mom, Brandon loves his mom. Tina loves Brandon. She doesn't think Brandon has done anything wrong. Her son is not guilty of anything. She babies him, pays for things. In my personal opinion, she has just completely babied Brandon.
Do you know if Brandon and Sarah went to any prayer vigils?
What's a prayer vigil?
When people around the community get together and
Oh, like a prayer group?
yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I know they help search on the 20.
Well, thank you so much, Green Girl. She says, I just found your channel. I so respect and love you for what you're doing. Godspeed, the answers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
28th and 29th, or that night along with when he disappeared, but I don't know about any prayer vigils. No,
Okay.
I mean, I think Sarah pretty much did her prayer vigils on her own, to be honest.
Sounds like it in the driveway. What'd you think
Oh
when
my God.
Carson called you in jail and said she's going nuts?
I mean, honestly, it was a shock to me. Like I was like, what the fuck? But you know, she's not mentally there. You know, I don't know. I've never seen her act that way. So
Did she ever say to you that she saw Brandy Neal crying?
no, not once.
And you know who Brandy Neal is.
His mom.
Right? Hair curlers and crime. Like, that's funny. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. Sarah had her own prayer rituals. Sarah was always just this whole God thing that took over on her TikToks and stuff. Opal, I don't know if, or sorry, hair curlers and crime. I don't know if you've ever seen her TikToks and how she goes on this like God rant, but that's pretty much like Chris McDonough was like, oh my God, look at these boxes and boxes of these mini Bibles. Like she just got so obsessed. And I mean, Christians do get obsessed with the Lord and everything else. I get that. The way that she went crazy about God was a whole, like she thought God was talking to her. It got crazy.
Mom, yeah. I just did a shout out, remember?
Yeah, I know. Just making sure. I know you're tired. You're yawning. So,
Oh man, I'm burnt. I'm tired.
do you think maybe they hid from the cameras going into the garage?
So
And where were you when they were going in?
I was in the truck waiting where I normally should have been.
Where I normally should have been. Remember when I told you guys earlier Brandon put Stacey in the house? Look at his nervous ass face talking about where he was when they were in Kuna.
I don't have a bladder problem like Sarah does, so I didn't have to use the restroom, so I just waited. But I can tell you that nothing. I've never seen her act that way, so.
And where were you when they were going in?
I was in the truck waiting where I normally should have been.
Normally should have been.
I don't have a bladder problem like Sarah does, so I didn't have to use the restroom, so I just waited. But I can tell you that nothing was brought into the house, if that's what you're asking.
Talking about nothing being brought into the house. She never even mentions anything being brought into the house. He starts scratching his face, playing with his ears, looking down. He was perfectly comfortable before this. I think Stacey was in that house. I think Stacey was definitely in the house. I really do.
That's what we were getting to.
No, I didn't ask that.
I don't know, but people would probably ask that. So just to cover that ground, no, there was nothing being brought in. But yeah, and I think it was to avoid.
What do you mean nothing was being brought in? In other videos, he talks about how Brandon brought a duffel bag full of clothes. He watched Brandon put his clothes in the duffel bag in the living room at their house on Red Wing Street. They left and went to Kuna. Brandon went in with his duffel bag and washed clothes. And here he's saying nothing was brought into the house.
avoid the cameras, correct.
Who do you think?
Why wouldn't he just mention the clothes being brought into the house again here? So again, deflecting off of something going into the house. Why would he be deflecting away from clothes? So now the question is, was it really clothes he was taking into the house? What was taken in the house?
Could have buried Michael in your backyard?
Halo says, he says Sarah used to shove the pins between her fingers. I wonder if it was because of her guilt. Many religious people, like priests, punish themselves for sinning. When you have really super high anxiety, also, when you're mutilating your fingertips, that's also a really big sign of anxiety. But yes, Halo, I totally get what you're saying there too. Priests do. But yeah, it also goes in with her mental health and how well she was acting, because they'll self-mutilate their nails. They can even, we've got the cutting thing that people do.
No idea. And I'm not going to answer that either because I will not speak on something I do not know the truth to. I don't even want to guess. I don't want to know.
Because there's you and Sarah in the front seat.
Caesar and Brandon in the back. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she was writing Bible verses on her arms and stuff, Opal. She was, the stuff, and the Bible verses were like from Revelation, because I remember like looking at the different Bible verses she was writing on herself. She believed that God was like coming down and the world was coming to an end and stuff. She lost her mind. Yeah, they were doing meth.
This is just so sad. Let's take a second and look at a video of Michael, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What is that, monkey? Bear. What is that? Hi.
Hi, Bear.
Hi, Bear. Hi, baby.
All right, where'd you go? Oh, he went back the other way.
Hi, Dad.
This is just so sad. Let's take a second and look at a video of Michael, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What is that, monkey? Bear. What is that? Hi.
Hi, Bear.
Hi, Bear. Hi, baby.
All right, where'd you go? Oh, he went back the other way.
Hi, Dad.
Out of all of them, who do you think could have put him there? Just your opinion.
I don't know. I think Adrian probably would have had a very good part in it, considering he's well known for human trafficking.
Yeah, there's a gulp while he's watching Michael there, and he also sticks out his bottom lip like it's sad or something. He can barely even look at the video. He's trying really hard, but he also tries not to at the same time.
I'm so sorry, Stacey. I know this is horrible.
I cry every day, just so you guys are aware. Like, this hurts me.
Oh, Jesus, shut up.
I should never have been associated or brought into it. I should have never been married to Sarah.
I should have never been married to Sarah. What's that supposed to mean?
I'm hurting. It hurts me. It tears me up every day.
He's hurting. He's torn up every day. What about Michael Vaughn's family? What about his parents? You don't think they're not hurting, crying every single day, every second of every minute of every damn day? They have suffered. I hate it when he talks like this. He has absolutely no feelings. He is a monster. He isn't crying every day. He don't give two shits. If he did, he would say something. And even though he gave in the tip, Michael still hasn't been found. So that didn't do any good. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sneezing. And they come in multiples with me. Sorry, guys.
You know, and Crystal, you're not blocked, honey. You're fine. You're fine. And you don't have to trust Stacey. You don't have to trust him. He's here to tell you his side of the story, and he's been very forthcoming.
Thank you, guys.
And you know, like he said, it tears his heart out. Did you go out and look for Michael Vaughn yourself?
I did a couple like, you know, drives, but it wasn't it wasn't like extensive, you know. I did go out and look.
A couple of drives, clears his throat. I don't believe he ever looked for Michael. He didn't have to look for Michael. He knew exactly what happened to Michael. He knew exactly where Michael was already. He's lying here.
But I, you know, I didn't go out at the same time Brandon and Sarah went out, no. But I did look for the boy like the next day or something like that.
I did look for the boy, clears his throat. And he cannot say Michael's name. I've only heard Stacey say Michael 2-3 times ever in all of his interviews that he did. Maybe 2, maybe 3. That's it.
Well, I mean, where were you when they were out looking for Michael?
I told you where I was. I was at home taking detaching the car from the truck. I was taking up the whole length of the driveway and then some.
Okay, I apologize. I did write that down.
It's okay.
Well, what do you think Adrian did? Because in my opinion, you've been manipulated and you're a victim as well.
I don't know. I don't. Again, that's something I don't feel comfortable talking about because I don't. It's like putting the cart before the horse. You know, I told you I'm not going to speak on something I don't know the answer to, even if it's an opinion. Like I don't have a response for that. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about the fact that any 3 of those people, any 4 of those people, any 3 of the people could have something to do with it.
Well, you say 4. Who would be the 4th? Because we have
Caesar.
8.
You brought up Caesar.
Okay.
You talked about Caesar. I don't know. I'm just saying you brought up a 4th person, so I was including the 4th person.
Oh no, I got you. What about Victor and Alexei?
Who?
Alexei, a guy that Brandon talks about.
Alexei?
Mm-hmm.
You mean Lexi? That was 11-year-old girl that Sarah and I were babysitting for my tattoo artist Ian, who, mind you, just did this tattoo.
Yeah, just pointing out here, gets a new tattoo. Brooks have been giving him money. People have been giving him money, starting a GoFundMe and everything else because he's broke, because he's in the shelter, because he can barely afford to buy his own food and everything else. But here he is getting a brand new sleeve tattoo on his arm. Ridiculous. You know how much that damn thing must have cost him? Just saying. Unless it was a trade for like drugs or something else. Sorry, you guys, my nose started running after I sneezed. That was gross.
A couple weeks ago. Like,
Oh, let me see that again. That is some cool ink, man. Are you going to get that filled in?
Yeah.
Wow, what does that mean?
So the ink in the middle says angel and devil, but it's a skull with roses and a snake going down my wrist.
Did that hurt?
No. I have 16 tattoos, none of them. The only one that really hurt me was my whole chest piece.
So what scares you the most?
Yeah, 500 plus. Yes, for a sleeve. Yeah, and the tattoo is kind of telling, isn't it? I think Brooks brought him breakfast as is all. There were lots of gift cards and stuff by Brooks sent to Stacey. I'm not trying to say that this is even a bad thing. Like, she was doing what she had to do to please Stacey to keep him talking to her. I'm not even trying to throw shade towards Brooks at all for doing what she did. I'm just saying, you know, she did a lot for him as far as buying him gift cards for certain places, and like getting him food sent to him. I mean, even when he was staying at Hot Mess's house, food was delivered there all the time, bought by Brooks. So
About this whole situation? Because
The fact
anything to keep him talking, anything to get him to talk. Absolutely.
that this little boy hasn't come home to his family.
I think you're scared. Are these people threatening you?
I'm not scared at all. I'm scared for this little boy and his family.
Big gulp after he says that. I'm scared for this little boy and his family. Big gulp.
I have been threatened, yes. I've been
Who
ridiculed.
threatened you?
Nobody, just people in the public.
Well, don't worry about them. I'm talking like people that were once in your circle that turned on you.
Oh no, never been threatened by them. I don't have association with them.
Did anything on July 27th scare you?
Not at all. I was scared for that little boy when he went missing. Absolutely.
When did you find out Michael went missing? Do you even know do you know what time?
We are 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 16 seconds into 2 hours and 31. So we only have 11 minutes, people. If you guys can just hang on a little bit longer. I know this is a long live. I know we've been here, what, 3 hours, 28 minutes? Holy crap. I didn't even know that. Okay. Sorry, let's get through this last 11 minutes. I'm going to try not to pause too much. If you guys see anything, let me know. I'm watching chat, and we'll be done.
Time he went missing?
No. I just know that the neighborhood was completely dead and empty, or dead and quiet when we left, and when we came back 4 or 5
Thank you guys for sticking around this long. I appreciate you all so much.
hours later, it was swarmed with people all over.
When I was talking to you this morning, and I appreciate you being so nice and reaching out and saying, I just want to clear all this up.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned furniture, and I cut you off because I was talking about my own life because I'm really bad like that. Did you guys get new furniture?
I mentioned furniture. What are you talking about? I said I used to move furniture for Labor Dave.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
No, the furniture we had was furniture that we've had since we moved into the house in 2020.
And he cleared his throat then after talking about the furniture. Interesting.
So what did you do the day after Michael was abducted?
We just carried on and did what went about with the taxi calls. Just carried on a normal day. I know that I think I went out, told Sarah that I was going to go look for the kid, but
The kid can't say Michael again. Clears his throat.
we just went about our usual.
When earlier he couldn't even talk about, like he didn't even know whether or not he had even gone out to look for Michael, and now he's saying that he did look for Michael. So there's another contradiction in his story. And we know he didn't go look for Michael. You can tell just by the way he acts, he never looked for Michael. He knew what happened to Michael, what happened to Michael. There was no reason for him to go out searching for him.
What daily activities?
You mean to tell me you're in the neighborhood across the street in a different, cluster of housing or whatever you want to call it? Sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now. But you're going to tell me it was just a normal day? We just went around about my day, a normal day. There are helicopters flying in the air the next day. There are people walking the neighborhood, cadaver dogs in the neighborhood. Everyone's looking for a little boy, and he wants to say that the day after Michael Vaughn disappeared there at the house was a normal day for them. If that isn't a statement of deflection, I don't even know what is. Because that neighborhood was going crazy.
Ouch.
You've been coughing a lot. Do you think maybe that with all the coughing, you have maybe done something to a rib?
It's just my lower back.
No.
I cracked my rib years ago, like through a snowboarding accident when I was in way much better health condition than I am now. But no, it's just my lower back. I have back problems really bad, so it just hurts to cough.
Well, we have a question from chat. Jordan Davies wants to know, do you think Sarah has got anything to do with Michael's disappearance, or do you think she's capable of doing this?
Again, I only answer things that I know the answers to is best, but to give you the best answer that I can, Jordan, I don't think that she had anything to do with it. What was the second part of that question?
Oh, hang on. I got to go back up.
Sorry.
Bear with me.
He's so hellbound on the fact that Sarah didn't ever have anything to do with this. I don't think she would do this. I don't think.
Oh, hang on. Peas in a Pod said coughing can aggravate lower back issues. Do you have a chiropractor?
No. I probably should go check one out. I haven't been to a chiropractor for years. I haven't been to a chiropractor since I've been out of jail, and I was in jail for 18 months. So probably should go check one out. But I just haven't been able to get there yet.
Hold on one second. I'll find it.
I will tell you, I'm gonna have to sum this up pretty soon because I have to go do my drug and alcohol testing. I got called today, and that's it.
That he failed miserably the entire time and ended up back in jail because of it.
3 p.m. Or I have to not at 3 p.m. I have to do it before 6, but I work at 3:45. So I gotta probably wrap this up with everybody, but I would like to continue it,
Well, do you want to?
Hey, Shannon, thank you for coming in. I haven't ever heard of him snowboarding. Honestly. I know that Brandon does snow stuff. He tested positive for all kinds of stuff. There were several different kinds of drugs in his system.
Want to come back on tomorrow?
Yeah, we can do that. But can you ask Stacey? Oh, there we go. I could come back on tomorrow early morning. You know, like I don't know what time you get up around there, but I mean, I could do something.
Normally up at like 3 in the morning, to be quite honest. I go to bed early, I get up early. I have like a Golden Girl schedule, not gonna lie.
I mean, we could do something like 6 in the morning if you want.
Okay, so that's 6 o'clock your time, 7 my time.
That would be essentially, yeah.
Do you think they're gonna charge you?
I don't know what to think. I hope not. I didn't do anything. They don't have evidence. Like, I don't know where they think they're going to. But like I said, I've already got my lawyer on standby who's already ready, like, for if anything happens. You know, like I'm prepared. Like, they're in for a fight if they're gonna try to charge me. I can tell you that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it straight to the box, and they're gonna lose. I'm gonna make them look like a bunch of bitches, to be honest.
The FBI and ISP and
Oh
Freedom.
yeah. Oh yeah. They're in for a nice little treat. They they don't got shit on me. I can tell everybody that.
Well, they got enough shit on you and enough shit on the other 3 that the DA has decided that they're going to push forward with charges. And that's what Brandy Neal was told. That is what Brandy Neal read. They are just getting their paperwork ready to go out and do what they need to do. Put out those indictments and start arresting people. He's a flipping gross green girl. It's just, I hate listening to him gag, but I hate even more when he's chewing and spitting. So I'll take the gagging over that.
They have nothing on me. And what little shit they think they have on me is not sufficient evidence. And even if they do, they said that they apparently have evidence of him being in the house. Well, I'm pretty sure that kid's never been in a house a day in his life. So I don't know where they even come up with that. But should they ever charge me, they're in for a very, 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 very angry person and a very long, huge lawsuit.
That he's still never done.
Well,
That
now,
he started.
when you say angry, I mean,
Like, angry isn't like angry for that they're fucking charging me over something they have no reason to charge me. They have no valuable evidence. Not angry as in like I'm gonna hurt somebody. Angry, just angry as in like, it's bull.
Man, you girls have been in here saying math, and I've been trying to figure out what the heck you guys are talking about, and now I finally know what you guys are talking about. This whole time I'm like, math? What the hell are they even talking about? That's funny. Yep. They were definitely doing math.
Bullshit. They're trying to fucking charge me regardless.
all right, we'll continue this tomorrow. I know you have to get to work.
Okay. But I appreciate you, Brooks. You have my number.
Yep.
If you want to give JLR Investigates my number too, if he wants to talk, I'm trying to cover my bases.
There isn't anything else. Oh my God, you guys, we got through literally the first video. That is the first, and there are so many to go through, but we have found a lot of stuff, right? Oh my goodness. Wow. You guys have been amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you guys all for being here, analyzing all of this with me. Lots of information was found tonight. You guys are amazing. For those of you coming in, Brandy did have a message to everybody. I want to read it again for those who came in a little bit late. I'm going to read this and play a monkey video, and then we'll be done for tonight. We found out that there is something fishy with the fact that Stacey says that they do this dog run. They come from Idaho all the way into the Portland, Vancouver area here in Oregon and Washington. Once they pick up this trailer from this guy, they travel to Walla Walla, which is northeast, really close, almost like back to Idaho, really, Walla Walla, Washington. Then they go from there to Grants Pass, Oregon, which is almost next to the California border, then go back to Idaho. And I am telling you, that is nothing like what he told Brandy when she was up on panel with him on my show. So that was a very, very big, huge, interesting thing here. I finally learned who Randy Strickland was. Slim has been telling me about Randy Strickland this whole time. Now I've got some information on him. Again, it's another guy staying with them there that, you know, was either there when they were both arrested or he came afterwards. But there are a lot of people that think that maybe Randy Strickland had something to do with the moving of Michael Vaughn from the Wondra's backyard. We also found out tonight that charcoal inside the Wondra's house was found. Chris Madonna talks about it. It sounds like there's an awful lot, a lot of charcoal in the house when he talks about it. And we know now that charcoal, thanks so much for bringing this up. I believe it was Hair Curlers in Crime or Opal that mentioned it. I don't know which one of the two of you. I just appreciate you actually mentioning this, that charcoal can be used to absorb odor. We looked it up. We found out it definitely can be used to absorb odor, and it can absorb the smell of decomposition. Did I say that word right? Decomposing body. So that could throw off scent dogs. And we also find out that there's water that Stacey talks about wanting from Brandon, that Brandon got him water, but Brandon talks about Stacey being in the house, going to the bathroom, possibly getting water. That one's not as huge, but one of the biggest ones that I really think, between the hour of the timestamp here of 2 hours to 2 hours and 6 minutes, he mentions Sarah, number one red flag. He is asked, did they do anything, stop anywhere from Kuna to Fruitland? And Stacey said Sarah had to use the restroom. Why mention that Sarah had to use the restroom instead of the toe strap broke and yeah, we had to stop and fix it? I mean, and like others were pointing out, why would you even mention the fact that Sarah even went to the bathroom? What is relevant about that? Unless you're just trying to add to your story to create a story. Number two red flag also about that, it was that he was fumbling his words while talking about this toe strap breaking. And then he deflects from the roads. He's a taxi driver. He drives all the time. He would know the names of those roads. He did mention Eagle Creek and like a canyon road or something, but he did deflect, and just really wondering if this tow thing even happened and if there wasn't another reason why they pulled over to the side of the road. Just really, really crazy. So those are the things that we found today. Some of these things I'm actually going to look over and everything else, compare them to other things that have been said, because that's what I like to do, because I like to figure things out. I really do think this TSHOW thing's a huge thing for me. And yeah, just noticing that he's really deflecting from being inside the house in Kuna is huge to me, because there's a reason why he's doing it. Could it be because he went into the house because he hurt Michael? Or he didn't want to admit that he saw something, or what? Okay, so that's that. That's what we found. Here is what Brandy had to say. I'm at home, just got off the phone with doctors. I'll be in Salt Lake meeting the team and all the tests they need in April. Yay, I did it. The magic list. Brandy made the list to have her liver transplant, everybody. So please send her lots and lots and lots of prayers, please. And she says, we leave April 8th to Salt Lake, 2 days of testing, social workers, dietitians, counselors, come home, wait for a liver. Nothing else. Just try to stay stable as possible and not die like I almost did last week. If you guys remember last week, I did a live and I was talking about, I couldn't talk about what was going on with Brandy, but to send prayers. It was because she ended up in the hospital for a few days. I love you all very much. It's been an extremely hard journey, but definitely I'm in the arena for the prize, life. So right now, I am doing all the appointments and traveling stuff, all the things. This is going to be the year, everyone. We will bring Michael home. We will get justice and get a second chance. Let today be a blessed day filled with hope, strength, and happiness. I can't thank you all enough for your love and support. I am truly blessed. I will take today for a win. Let's go, Monkey's Army. We are fighting, never giving up. Michael, I pinky promise. Monkey. Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shirtliff, Sarah Wondra, Adrian Lucian, let's go. Tell me where Michael is. You are not going to defeat this mama. Our family, or Monkey's Army, that stands with law enforcement. Miss Bonnie and Tina Mariel, that's Brandon's mother, Brandon's grandmother, Bonnie Locke. I hear that you are a wonderful, kind Christian woman. I would like to have a conversation with you. Tell me about your family. I want to hear about Brandon growing up. I'd like to tell you about Michael's beautiful story. Michael has 3 siblings. Did you know that? I would like to tell you about my family. They are some very strong, loving people. Your grandson, Brandon Shirtliff, has my telephone number. I understand it may be difficult to talk to me, but I give you my word. I will be cordial and kind. Please consider talking with me. I'm sure we'll be meeting soon. Have a nice day. That is the message from Brandy that she wanted me to read tonight during the live. We still need lots of prayers for Monkey's return home and justice. We still need lots of prayers for Brandy. We are Monkey's Army, and we will never give up. We will never give up. We're never going away. You picked the wrong group of peoples. What happened? You thank you for the prayers and the hugs. She has worked so hard. I'm so proud of her. She has worked so hard, and she's holding on to survive. She's literally hanging on for dear life at this point. We love you, Brandy. Prayers for Michael and the family. Thank you, Connie. Brandy is gracious and classy. She sure is. He's coming home. Justice for Michael. He will come home. I believe it. Make me cry, Brandy. We love you all. It is. It's just so sad to see. We will never stop. Ever. Never gonna stop. Thank you guys all for coming to the live. I know it was long, 3 hours and 50 minutes. We will be going over another interview. I don't know if we'll do Brooks again or what interview we're going to do next. I don't know if I want to go in order or not, but we're going to be going over another interview, our next live. I'm going to be live tomorrow, probably starting about 3:30. I haven't decided yet. Trying to do it like in the afternoon so that I can still make dinner and do things like that for my husband in the evening after he comes home from work. I made it very easy today for myself. Put a roast in the crock pot with some potatoes and carrots. So I'm going to get off it here and make a little bit of brown gravy to go over that. Thank you guys all for being here. You guys are amazing. Before I go, though, this is Michael Joseph Vaughn. He was abducted on July 27th, 2021, around the corner from his home in Fruitland. Michael Vaughn was 5 years old when he was abducted, with blonde hair and blue eyes. So beautiful. His family misses him. And as of January 10th, 2025, there are still the same 4 suspects and possibly other people involved in Michael's abduction or people that know things. Sarah Wondra, Stacey Wondra, Brandon Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucian. If you know anything about Michael's abduction, please come forward. No tip is too small. If you know anything about any of these suspects, if you've heard them talk about anything, or if you know of anybody that heard any of these suspects talk, please come forward. Call Fruitland Police Tips Line at 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org. You know, if you call in a tip, you're Michael's hero. You are the Vaughn family's hero. Even though the DA has enough evidence to push forward right now as a nobody case, having that one other piece of information where Michael is, or any other piece of information that could really put the nail in the coffin of the suspects in this case, you are Michael's hero when you come forward. Do you want to be a hero? Do you want your kids to grow up and know, my mom was like the super coolest hero ever, dude. She like gave the best information to the Fruitland Police Department, and they were able to convict these suspects, or they were able to find Michael. I know when I was little, my dad told me all about that one tip that he gave after talking to Stacey Wondra, and man, they were able to find Michael and everything. Be the hero. Be that hero. Be a hero for yourself. Feel how good it does. You know, just feel how good it is to feel good about yourself and not keep a secret. The secret that you are keeping to yourself, the secret that you know could help the Vaughn family, could help bring justice to Michael Vaughn, a 5-year-old little boy in Fruitland, Idaho that was abducted and murdered by one of those 4 suspects up on the screen. We have to keep bringing awareness for Michael. It is so important. especially with the DA moving forward. Fruitland and all of Idaho, all of Washington, all of the world needs to know we are not giving up. We are still telling Michael's story. Please grab the next link that I post, go over, join Michael's Facebook, grab a flyer when you're done here, be another one of Michael's heroes, and grab a flyer and post it on your social media. Tell a story about Michael that you've heard, whatever you want to do, or just post it up there and walk away. It takes 5 to 10 seconds, right? That's all you need to do. That's what all of you can do, is share Michael's flyer, especially this one. This one right here has the 4 suspects on it. It even talks about them being suspects. This one right now, I think, is one of the most important ones we have out there. So please, after you're done, grab a flyer, share it. If you feel like it, share on every social media platform that you have. But we have to keep bringing awareness for Michael. The world needs to know who he is, because when the DA makes arrests, puts out those indictments, the community in Fruitland has to make sure that the judges, that the jury, that the DA, that everybody's doing exactly what they need to be doing to put the suspects away. Either they're going to get the death penalty or they're going to spend the rest of their life, unless they come forward and decide to stop being cowards and decide, I'm just going to tell what I know and make that deal. Get out of all of the other stuff. Make a deal. Deal. So you can call in tips anonymously. There is a reward for over $52,000. Please call the Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006 or email findmichael@fruitland.org. No tip is ever too small. Be the hero. Be Michael's hero. Be the family's hero. They've suffered enough. It's time. Don't keep secrets. If you see something, say something. I appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you so much tonight for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Help put this out in the algorithm. I just appreciate you guys all for being here. I know it was a very long live. It's all right. We can do more long lives if we have to get through all of his interviews. Please keep praying for Monkey. Keep praying for Brandy and the Vaughn family. Michael deserves justice. Their family deserves to be able to live a day in peace and know that, you know, people are doing something. People are still sharing Michael. People are still talking about Michael. People still love Michael and the Vaughn family. We're not going anywhere. What? I didn't even see this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being super. Thank you so much, baby kisses. You guys know me. I got a party. When I see a super chat, super sticker, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for being here, for supporting the family. I just absolutely adore my chat. Thank you, moderators, for being here. I really appreciate you guys coming. It wasn't spur of the moment so much today, although I did forget to mention it to you guys yesterday. But I am going live again tomorrow afternoon, just a warning, or just a alert for any of you mods that might be able to make it over. You guys know I never worry about it. If you can't, don't worry about it. I love you guys. Thank you guys for joining. We are Brandy Strong. We are Monkey's Army, and we're never giving up. Have a blessed evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow.